Too much pressure.
Oh, dang. Let's see how this is going for us.
Closer to the edge.
Closer to the edge.
And I'm about to break.
Well, everything you say to me,
It's just one of those days.
you don't want to wake up.
Everything is fucked.
Everybody sucks. Let's double check.
Pre-show time.
Yeah, this is the pre-show. We're gonna start the actual
I'm
show.
done, man. I'm done with the
Just
pre-show.
a second. Just making sure the audio is going in there good. That one sounds alright on the YouTube.
Stinger Apocalypse 2018. Coming to a theater near you.
Theaters.
In a world without stingers.
Come on, buddy, unmute.
One man
Oh, yeah. Shoot.
will make a difference.
Alright. We're gonna start the actual show now, everybody. Thanks for your patience. Alright, kill that ace.
Murder that shit, dog.
Murder that AC. Oh, of course, that's...
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Alright, everybody. Brace yourselves. And we're about to start the RadioVegas.rocks feed has begun. And that's right. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what's going on right now. Hey, welcome to Greasy Conversation.
Congratulations, you made it to another Friday without dying.
Yeah.
Pat yourself on the back, get yourself a beer.
Pat yourself all over.
Yeah. Little head pat.
Grab yourself a box wine. Oh, it's full still. That was a bad idea.
Pretend you're a dog that can pat its own self on the head. Like, that would be the best dog.
Yeah, like one of the, making them dog smiles where a dog's all floppy ear smiling.
You can be the best dog in the world to yourself.
Yeah. So, how's that news chug situation?
Oh, yeah. You know how we always got to start it off? This one made me especially think of you.
Ooh!
Yeah. So this dude in the UK, well, how do I got to set this one up?
That's always a good sign.
Yeah, so David Schwimmer, who played Ross from Friends, you may remember him.
How could I forget?
Not as David Schwimmer, but as Ross from Friends.
Yeah.
He had to put out a couple statements with an alibi saying that he was not in the UK on a beer stealing spree. Because there was like this dude who was going around.
No one else can look like that guy because he wasn't casted to look like a certain person we've all met before.
Yeah, but it was there's like just security footage of this dude who was going around stores in the UK stealing hella beer, and it's a pretty dead ringer for David Schwimmer. So then they all got, and then they started like making jokes about it related to some Ross-centric Friends episodes and shit. And they all kind of got in on it. But, yeah. So the moral of that story is don't look like other people.
Oh, man. Wear a mask on your beer stealing sprees.
Right? Well, I'm sure he probably could get away with it. He's like, no one's going to arrest me. I'm Ross from Friends.
Yeah.
They know. Just put it on my tab.
Oh, Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call Rachel. What was your favorite? Wait. Before we get into all this serious, excellent content, who is your favorite Friends character? Because I loved Phoebe. I like the weird ones.
Yeah, Phoebe was probably the best one. And then I'm partial to say, didn't they have a duck for a while?
Yeah, the duck was a gentleman.
Yeah, the duck was probably my favorite character next to Phoebe. So all the other people are trash.
It sounds funny at face value, but the duck was really well written into the for everything that some might argue was written good or bad about Friends. The way they incorporated the ducks,
Yeah,
love
yeah.
them.
Can't do much better.
Well, yeah, the one duck, and it was a duck and a chicken. You guys, I remember this shit.
Yeah. And the chimpanzee. Was there a chimpanzee for like an episode?
That's how it started with a capuchin monkey, and the capuchin
Oh, that's
monkey
right.
was Ross's.
That's right.
And there was, because this was kind of pre-internet, this was so pre-internet that two of the characters, man, what's his face? They made like a Windows 95 instruction guide. Like there's a how to use Windows 95 by two of the characters from Friends.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, the people got in an uproar about the monkey as a pet because you can't really keep a monkey like that as a pet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they get to a certain age and they start humping everything. And they actually did that in the episode. I thought that was kind of a cool cultural growth thing to happen. Because I remember some animal people I knew being upset about that monkey being in the show. And then they had the episode where the monkey humped everything and he had to give it to a zoo.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, yeah, that's what you have to do. It's not a real pet. Just starting people getting those as pets, and it's a miserable life for something that intelligent. Which kind of worries me about a lot of birds. I feel that way about. Like it's way too
Yeah.
smart of an animal to be like that. Animal should be voting.
Yeah, totally. And not be locked in a cage.
This was meant to fly
Right.
into this cage.
Yeah, of course, that's what humans are going to do. Be like, oh, let's take this animal that just like flies and migrates like all over the planet and let's just put it in a tiny little cage. It'll love it.
Yeah, we have a history of loving subjugating animals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's people like I've seen someone with like a parrot on their shoulder like go to the bank, and the bird's just there on its shoulder, and its wings are probably clipped, so it probably couldn't get that far. And it's just so
Yeah.
used to trying to fly away and getting maybe a couple yards before the owner just grabs it 'cause its wings go. So it's just like Stockholm syndromed, where like, it looks like, oh, that bird's like his buddy, and maybe sometimes it is. But this time I just got this feeling. I was at the bank. This guy was rude to the teller, and I was like, this guy, that's a bird slave. That bird is happily on his shoulder because it fears anything else.
See,
Its will is broken.
I actually think that in that situation, the parrot is probably the mastermind.
Whoa!
He's like robbing the bank. He told the dude, he's like, hey, take me to the bank. So like, we're going to pull a heist.
Whispering right in his ear.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and then like he gets up to the teller and the parrot's like, put the money in the bag.
All the years that I haven't been able to figure out, like, get my head away from this dude with the bird on his shoulder and the fedora and the gray beard. And you just put such a spin on it. Now I'm like, whoa, I just saw like a subjugating bird ruler.
Yeah, maybe he's like head of the bird mafia.
He was like a puppet to that bird ruler. That was the
Yeah.
bird's bank account.
Bird's like, hey, if you don't do this, I mean, it's
Yeah.
a nice family you got. It'd be a real shame if something happened to him.
Bird's making the money, bird's calling the shots.
Oh my god.
Clearly already a good episode. Tell your
Yeah.
friends, gather them around, bring everybody inside from the cold, and holler on the places you holler, all right? And yeah. That's the vault of knowledge. We're opening the vault of knowledge, everybody. Brace
vault
yourself,
of
knowledge
knowledge.
vault. Woo! We're opening the vault of knowledge, everybody. Yeah. You get bonus audio there. We have like multiple pages today, so it's more of a question of
Yeah, where to go?
where the next best one
So I got
is.
this one, and then when Kevin gets here, we can take another poll. But I'm gonna run this by you. All right, where do you think this happened? Just by this.
Oh, I
this
love this
description.
game. Yeah, we're gonna
All
play
right.
Where Do You Think This Happened?
Yeah. This woman, 73 years old, was worried about the meth that she was smoking. Right, so she took it to her doctor for a second opinion to make sure it was clean and not gonna, wasn't made with all types of harmful chemicals.
Yeah, because there's like one specific chemical that you're getting when you're getting meth. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
You're gonna
totally.
get that exactly
Always.
every time. Yeah, there's a specific. Yeah, no. That's a great move. Everyone should do that when they're on meth. Take it to someone that's gonna take it away from them and wiggle a finger at them. Like, you can't go to the doctor without him telling you you're fat. You think he's gonna be down with your meth habit and hold your hand through that? That's such a meth thought. That's like a meth type of decision.
Yeah, where you're like, I mean, because she was like worried that the drug would cause her harm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
As opposed to that totally safe, non-harmful meth that's floating around normally.
So where did this happen?
Oh, naturally, I want to say either Florida. Yeah. All right.
Of course, it's Florida. I mean, it's probably happened in other places too, but
You skated by free this time, Arizona. I'm looking sideways over at you.
Until next week.
With your mesas. I don't trust the flat top mountain.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's pretty old to like still be like doing meth, man.
No, she's a noob. That's why she's talking to her doctor about it. She's so out of touch. She didn't even know that it was something that like you could. She thought it would be like Molly or something where you could get like, is this really MDMA? Like, because I take Molly to the doctor all the time and have them double check. No,
yeah.
There's never a time when you do that.
That's why you have to like order drug kits online.
She's all kinds of new.
I guess, man.
New drug users, man.
Or it's just like, or you just go on one of those like meth trips where you're like, I know the best thing to do in this situation. Take this to the doctor. He'll know what to do.
It really does sound like a meth move, though.
Yeah, like you just got so spun.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I got to go to the doctor. I'm feeling really weird.
Where you think you're having responsible, sober thoughts.
Yeah, she's been up for like 3 or 4 days and like totally out there.
She thinks she's down and in between sessions with it, or really she's just on that weird plateau it has where you're still crazy and you don't realize that you are.
Yeah.
Making crazy moves that you think are all responsible that like sound like part of it might be something responsible.
Yeah, totally. But not the move.
No.
Not the move.
The whole thing, holistically, irresponsible.
Man. We can't do that in America.
This is a fun like celebration of citizens.
Right? I mean, would the world be better if we could? Like if you could just take all your drugs to the doctor and be like, Doc,
yes.
Can you help me out?
Yes, for sure. The world would definitely be better because we'd have testing of substances people are putting in their bodies, illicitly or not. We can't stop people from doing drugs if we can make clear representative examples available, or at least testing, then people can at least know what the fuck they're doing and not be shammed by people that are taking advantage of a black market. You don't have a black market when you have a market.
Yeah, because I was reading up on like different states that are like going through opiate crises, and it's like crazy that like heroin is almost it's not the prominent one anymore. It's all these different variations of like fentanyl that might be cut with little heroin, but they're all crazy because I didn't even realize this, but there's so many like time released variations. There's like short half-life where there's like 2 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah. And the lack of education and this hidden thing about it to where people don't have a way to find out what they're taking, or if they're taking too much, or what the risks really are, except anecdotal stories. Then people are gonna go right to the edge. So
because you could take like these short half-life ones, and then your withdrawal symptoms come on like right away. You know, so you have to act fast, and like it is totally different.
You can go off for a while and then lose your tolerance and try to do the amount that you did before the tolerance.
Totally OD and right away.
That's happened. So many celebs, their ODs that have killed them have been right after a dry spell.
Yeah. And like, opiates are crazy that way because even like, even something like the location, because your brain has like an expectation. Like if you always like do it in the bathroom or at home or something, and then
it rings that bell.
Yeah, but if you do it at a different location, even if it's a dose you can normally handle, but you'd be, it's a dry spell, that can still affect you adversely and shit. There's all kinds of weird shit, but it's gnarly. But just be safe with your drugs, kids. That's all. Do the good drugs.
Do weed sometimes, and lay off the box wine and above.
That box wine level is
We found out it's 6.5 bottles in this box. It's
which is like
the boom box of liquors. Because, like, you can just backpack that shit and, like, have a party train behind you. Spigot train. Who's down for a spigot party? I got
Spigot party.
Spigot
oh my God.
party's going down.
Spigot party.
Yeah, I just kicked into it, too, so I'm not, like, fully podcast and blasted. That's a season 1 move. But we're nipping our way in. We're going to nip our way through the Friday.
we'll do another drunk episode, I'm sure, eventually.
Nipping Friday.
And not a little casual drinking episode.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of lubing those gears.
Comfortable drinking. All right, so you gotta break this one down for me, Was.
Like I love to do.
Yeah. It's about Bill Gates.
Oh, did I just put like, okay, Bill Gates showed a bunch of people a jar of poop? Yeah, there's a little more to it.
It's just I just can't get away from all the news about Bill Gates and his poop jar.
There was one day this week where half of my news feed was pictures of Bill Gates holding a jar of poop. I'm like, I get it. Do we all have to scoop this? Is this the craziest like race to the presses? This doesn't need an image.
Yeah.
The headline's plenty. I clicked on it right away. But it was like, who's going to be the first one to have me click about this? Because I don't need to read about this twice.
I mean, was it his poop jar or was it just a poop jar?
Good question. No, it wasn't his, I'm pretty sure.
No. That'd be weird if like Bill Gates like has poop jars.
Damn. But the thing is, that's really an excellent question that I didn't look into that maybe some of our crack team can double check and comment in. Because I don't know. I'm pretty sure it wasn't his.
Yeah, yeah.
Whose was it? Was his wife's? Hey,
Yeah.
Melinda?
Maybe he had some, I don't know, alien virtual poop.
I mean, I don't know how many of you notice this about your primal characteristics, but I massively prefer the scent of a female human's poop than a male's. But I don't like it. Prefer is the wrong word.
Yeah.
Because if I were forced to deal with human poo, which is like totally a bad smell, if it's female, something about the smell is less offensive. Like I can tell going into a woman's restroom because forget lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's a line,
No,
like
you gotta go.
later.
Especially if it's like a shitty bar where they have like one urinal.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, fuck this.
I'll be in this one.
Yep.
And sometimes it's not any better kept than the male
Nah,
one.
usually not.
But the gross smells. Where was I? Why am I talking? Yeah, okay. So if it were me, I'd use my wife's poop for sure. That's what I was getting at. So my theory is that it's Melinda's poop, Melinda Gates.
Yeah, probably.
That he held up. Because then you can feel kind of like loving about it. Like you care about the person that made that. And you can kind of look aside from the fact that it's gross they're holding a jar of poop. But he did it to usher in a contest to make waterless toilets. It's like a festival of engineers competing to win a prize for the best design for a toilet to get this poo out of the water. So what little water supplies there are in some of these arid nations
Yeah.
isn't having to deal with poop. One, I believe the winner had like an auger in it, and it looked like a little mining operation in the back of this toilet.
Damn, so like keeps drilling a hole just to like endless drilling, just the poop hole.
There's like an auger ladder thing of dry matter, and the water, the liquid matter would be separated and purified and stuff and collect in a tray in the bottom, and you'd use that to water your plants.
Huh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I want my plants to, like, when I eat my salad, I want it to, like, remind me of me subconsciously. Some of my cells are working their way back through familiar, like, old friends.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like visiting old friends.
Yeah, because like the microbes will, the microbes in your stomach, they'll recognize. They'll be like, oh, hey, you guys remember Jimmy?
Yeah, you made it back, buddy. Tell us about your journeys.
Oh, man.
Well, I wrote on this auger.
It's crazy. You guys got to try it.
There was a tray. Whenever there's a tray involved.
Oh, so that's what heaven's like.
Like South Park's great because there's a tray involved.
That's like that's like the microbe afterlife. Apparently, now that I just said that, that's what it is.
Whoa. on that suspenseful note.
All right, so we got this is a little more serious. All right,
Uh-oh.
because serious shit happens in the world, unfortunately, and we have to
Ew.
talk about it. I know, right? If it could just be like, everyone just like gets photographed with poop jars, like it would,
Yeah.
I could handle that.
I don't want to talk about the fires in California.
Yeah,
That's
no, man.
so-
It's tragic. It's terrible.
So bummer, like worst case bummer.
Yeah.
But we're not going to help much yammering about it. So if anyone's suffering with that, hopefully we can laugh your way past it. But we acknowledge you and condolences. For
Yeah,
sure.
totally. All right, so we got elephants have evolved to stop growing tusks
Yeah.
to steal.
Yeah. No, this isn't sad news. This is great.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah, do it. Evolve, babies, evolve, baby elephants, little fellas, cute little fucking giant things. Evolve. Fuck tusks. What are you gonna fight each other with them anyway? That's lame. So these
Yeah, they're all hella
elephants-
peaceful.
Yeah, they're becoming pacifists. They just arm wrestle with their noses for territory instead of tusking each other up. They're like, hey, this is what these people want. We're just gonna stop growing them. Thanks, genes. And that just shows like elevation. Okay, sorry, box one. Evolution might seem really slow, but that's evolution in our lifetime. These things are growing less tusks. It's
Yeah.
like a middle finger to America. I mean, humans.
Yeah, totally. Because elephants are like they're hella smart, man.
I don't think America's the main tusk.
No.
But that,
But no, I mean, yeah. Cheers for the little.
Cheers, little elephant fellas that are giant.
Yeah, that will be
Little-
giant without tusks.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't need those,
No.
especially if they're just gonna get stolen by assholes, man.
Is this a metaphor for gun control?
Maybe we just have to. Yeah, we just have to evolve bulletproof skin.
I was gonna say we just don't have as many guns around, and then there won't be as many guns around then. Like I'm all about you can be a gun collector, you can have your gun collection, but the whole cultural concept of like all of us having to have one, it'd be great if we just didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
That's not the ideal way of settling things. That's not like the end conclusion of where we're going to end up because we've only progressed less gunny and less violent-y and less human life endy as a species, as a whole, across the board.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole notion that like you need a gun for protection is just like pushed way too hard.
That's a good way of putting it because I don't think that's irrelevant or completely non-existent.
Yeah.
But it is overemphasized.
Yeah.
Pepper spray, though, on the other hand, I've had multiple miscreants confirm with me that pepper spray is way more effective than a stun gun.
Oh
That
yeah.
Someone really on one might be able to push past that stun gun feeling, especially. Was it Taser is a specific brand, and they have a specific pattern of frequencies for muscle incapacitation, but they're patented. So anything else that's not Taser brand, that's just a regular stun gun, is just a very high voltage, which can be very painful and relatively incapacitating, but it's something you can push past. You can adrenaline your way out of a traditional stun gun. It
Yeah.
happens
So like
all
someone
the
on
time.
PCP is like not even gonna flinch.
For sure. But I mean, where's this PCP at? I mean, who's getting any PCP nowadays?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't run in those.
You go look for that
circles.
shit. Report back. I don't see any lying around. But I mean, I could imagine K-ing it up. I could imagine ketamine. But then who's that Vaughn on ketamine? They're like trying to climb out of an imaginary hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Not really a good mugger. So, I mean, the world's gotten better in that way. But anyway, pepper spray, I've heard, takes people out better.
Yeah, it's pepper spray, everyone.
I'll let you know. You guys run at me. We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll set
Come
it up.
at me.
Come at me, bro.
No, I really don't, though. I don't
Yeah,
want to
no.
waste that shit.
Yeah, I don't have any pepper spray.
Yeah, it's cheap. I got this kind that's like a gel foam thing, and it goes particularly far. There's nothing wrong with spending a couple bucks with like a name brand that I don't remember the name brand because maybe it wasn't really a good name brand. It was just
Yeah.
like that was one
It was a brand that had a name.
Yeah, I didn't eBay this one. I went to Amazon with this one. That bastion
okay.
of quality assurance.
Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, it's supposed to like push a bear over. It's supposed to like make a bear like fall down
That's quite a claim.
and claw at its own chest.
I mean, did
I
someone
know.
test that?
No,
Did
it's
they
not.
test that?
Nor did I spend that much money on bear shit. It's not bear shit.
Bear spray that guy.
Yeah, I got the one that's like has like a kangaroo on it instead of a bear. It's like it'll take a kangaroo out. That's the best. It's like how
Yeah,
they
like-
rate them, how big an animal will take out.
And how do they even determine that?
Right?
Like, who's
Well, there's
gonna
testaroos. The testaroos.
testers? Yeah, they're like, all
They're
right.
the new rat.
They're like, all right, intern.
Get in the pouch.
So what you got? So what you got to do? Now you got to go start with a fight with the kangaroo, and then you got to pepper spray him.
God. And then we're gonna eat him. This is a food kangaroo. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's
Get
one
a-
of those kangaroos that's gonna be in that lunch meat.
Get that roid steak. Oh man.
Shout out to episode 5. I'm gonna pretend I know which episode it was. but
Yeah, something like
probably
that.
4. Yeah, we talked about kangaroo meat. It's
Yeah.
on Instagram. Check out Instagram. That's like the best place
No,
to check out.
No one's gonna do that. Like a kangaroo will whoop your fucking ass, dude.
I'm afraid of him.
No, not even a contest. I mean, maybe like some huge boxer or like professional fighter could take on. I'm sure like Mike Tyson could like take on a kangaroo, you know,
I
in
have
his
no
prime.
concept. Have you been around one?
No, but they're like kicking for it, and they have huge fucking claws on their feet too. They'll just gut
Reel
you.
back on the tail and kick
Yeah,
at you?
yeah,
Wow.
and they can just gut you
You
like
know what's
hella
a
easily.
secret one like that too is ostriches.
Yeah, ostriches will fuck you up, man.
There was an ostrich farm where I was growing up in Apple Valley, California. Sorry, California. Apple Valley was on fire a whole lot when I lived there too. I was like surrounding it. I used to have to deliver pizza with a mask on because the
Oh,
fires were
Jesus.
such a presence.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was like 2002 fires. Anyway, there's an ostrich farm. I was in middle school, I think. Boy Scouts. We went toured the ostrich farm, and then we had like a barbecue, and it was all ostrich burgers. So I had my first ostrich burger experience while staring one of them bitches down. And they were saying that the ostrich could kick a lion's head off. And they found headless lions. And throughout high school, I told people that, and everyone's like, I don't know, have you seen how thick a lion's neck is? I don't think the head comes off of a lion that cleanly from
Yeah.
a kick. I think you can pull the head. It's like the neck is like part of the body on a lion.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
can't kick a lion in half. They're not going to kick. The lion's not going to tear in half with an ostrich's kick. It's
Yeah,
a bit much.
it'll just knock them out.
Yeah, kick him, break the neck, maybe. You
Yeah,
picture
maybe,
that
I don't
kind of
know.
kick.
I'd be more afraid of the giant fucking talons that
Right.
will just like slice you open.
Yeah, it looks like a raptor, like legit velociraptor.
Yeah.
Like the conclusion of those. They said you can ride one, but you can't steer it. So if you're able to get it to let you on its back, it's going to go where it wants to go.
Yeah, I think there's even like ostrich races somewhere in the desert. There's legends of those that happen, and there's documentation, I believe.
If you can't steer
it's
the
real.
ostrich and it has its own desires of where to go, is it too sentient to eat?
Probably. I imagine like we'll probably come to a point in the future where we just determine that like most animals are probably a little too sentient to eat.
I already feel that way, but I also feel like alcohol isn't very healthy. And neither of those things are stopping me from consuming either. But
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm not saying that. I don't think we're gonna.
that meat,
Stop
though. I
eating
will.
meat.
No, I think we really will. I think people like you and I will too when that meat becomes more available. But it's going to
Yeah,
take
yeah.
better marketing. It's going to take people to not call it vat meat anymore. But it's just so fun to say. But
Yeah.
it's a bad connotation. There is meat that's the exact proteins that we eat in like a perfect cow,
Mm-hmm.
just grown without the spinal column or the brain or anything. It's just some muscles grown in a jar.
Yeah.
And then we eat those, and it's the same molecules. So that seems like I'm all about that.
I
I'd
imagine
rather
if you
not
could have
eat
it like
anything alive.
marinated from the start.
That would be better than eating plants because we've found plants on like a hive level are feeling pain and emotion too.
Yeah, they like communicate. They send signals to their roots and shit. Yeah, man.
Speaking of which, Josh says that roo though.
I'm
Roo.
on that roo, dog. I'm on that roo chili.
Oh man,
Get my roids.
having a roo-a-q.
Oh man, the
Barbaroo.
fucking intern get in the pouch.
Yeah, you can get in the pouch. I don't
Right.
care. You can shower afterwards.
It's your turn, Jimmy.
Yeah, get slimed. Oh, they slimed
It's part of the job. Why aren't you guys doing it? You're the intern.
They made me get in a pouch. pouch.
Oh man. I actually think it would be kind of fun to like ride in a kangaroo pouch. I don't think I would fit, but I mean it'd be fun.
I mean, the theory, but
I mean it's probably like gross and smelly, but if it
Yeah.
wasn't, you know.
oh man, I didn't even think smelly. I was thinking mucusy and stuff.
Yeah, that too.
I feel
Yeah.
like riding in a nostril.
Man.
All right.
Yeah.
Good episode.
Yeah, Rue
Loving
nostrils.
it.
Yeah.
Rue. Nostril. All right. Checking chats. A poop jar. Yeah, Josh on the YouTube. Bill Gates demonstrated to everyone a jar of poop. It was real. What's the next one? Wait. Oh man, I don't use
Yeah,
that one
I'm
enough. I
having
feel like a
trouble-
machine.
I'm having trouble deciding.
Dude,
All right, all right, here we go.
gotta commit.
I'm indecisive. I'm indecisive. This is probably like poll worthy because I know this is a controversial topic, but how does everyone feel about pineapple on pizza?
I
think
like to
it's-
take it off and eat it on the side, but I
Yeah.
don't hate people that put it on there. Some people I know and love and trust even in the community. Oh man,
right off the bat.
it was just outside the frame too, so you couldn't appreciate how
Yeah,
cool that looked.
nice. No, it seems pretty controversial. Like, it's almost like if we just extrapolate into the future, there's going to be two species of humans, one that likes pineapple on their pizza and one that doesn't, and they're in constant war.
It's very polarizing.
Yeah, for some reason. And I think that reason is because people who don't like pineapple on their pizza are no taste bud having ass motherfuckers. I said it. I stand by it. But no, I don't really think that. But so the president of Iceland got into some maybe imaginary heat for saying that he didn't like pineapple on pizza and that he would, if he could, he would ban it. And of course, like he's not going to ever do that. No one is going to do that. But it just became kind of it kind of blew up, you know.
Yeah.
To have a president of a country like exclaim their distaste for pineapple pizza, and I'm like, don't they eat like fermented fish and shit?
Good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if you like that, that's cool. I eat fermented cabbage and stuff. You know, we all eat fermented food all over the place and don't even realize it, and it's delicious. Except for the fish part.
Kimchi.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But no, I just think it's hilarious that the leader of a country would come out that strong against pineapple on pizza, man. Like,
You know what the takeaway is? Here's the takeaway.
yeah.
They do not have a lot of real problems there, do they? Here we're like, we have one ethnicity that's being locked up and shot by cops way more than other ethnicities. We have another ethnicity yet that's a primary contributor to the workforce, and yet is we don't want more of them here for some reason.
Like hella demonized.
Yeah, and they're just like, man, these people that like pineapple on their pizza.
All right.
That's your demon. Okay,
Right,
that's
yeah.
your that's the race that you've got, like, oh boy, that's your scapegoat. That's who
Yeah.
you're gonna put in camps.
Confiscating all the pineapple pizza. Get the old Gestapo out. The old Icelandic Gestapo.
This is too good.
Right.
All right. Let's turn the pace up. I know we got a bunch of these. Toss me another one real quick.
All right. I don't want to.
I'm not going far.
Yeah. All right. So this is one, and this kind of I just have this general feeling, but the Japan's new minister of cybersecurity admitted recently that he has never used a computer.
How
So-
lame is that?
Right? And his reasoning is that he's always been in a position of power and authority, so he's always had like secretaries and stuff to just handle that stuff for him.
Oh, that's a better thing to say.
Yeah, right?
Oh, you rescued it.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
better thing to say.
But it just I mean, and it's like, that's not different from here, too. We have like, people who are in Congress and who have been in Congress since like before computers were mainstream and like everyone had a computer in their home. And like they aren't
Problem
really
is them
up.
admitting it.
Yeah, and they're not up on things, but like they don't need to admit it because you can just tell. And one of the examples is recently when it was a couple months ago when they were questioning the old Zuck about Facebook, and it was pretty obvious that like most of them had no clue how things on the internet work. I just think it's time for some new guard to come in who like
Never been a clearer example of that.
Yeah, right.
Than that.
And it's like he's still going to be the minister of like cybersecurity, not just like I don't know some lame bullshit regarding not just like
I can understand him having another role, but having that be like, oh, he's going to protect us from hackers. Okay, so is his job just to hire someone that can really do the job?
Probably.
Because that's a weird thing that you can be as a job. I'm head of making sure that someone else does a thing that could just be head of the thing they're supposed to do.
That's like what government is, a lot of it. It's just like
must be nice.
Positions like that all the way down where you just like hire a manager who hires other people to like manage people who actually do it. And then they just outsource it.
The great thing about cleaning a surface with wine is the scent afterwards. It's very pleasant.
Mm. Oh, man.
All right, you guys. Success. Success in the high seas. If you're listening to us now in the high seas, you pay a lot for internet. Congratulations.
If you live in America, you do.
Oh, man, that's a thing, too. What's the deal?
Well, there was, I saw, I didn't grab it, but I was reading this article earlier about, I can't remember who was talking about it. I'd have to look at it again, but basically talking about like cell companies and cable companies like throttling again. Yeah,
even here with Cox, if you use more than a certain amount, you risk throttling, and they send you a letter. You're on a different tier now.
And he said this was like a perfect example of why we needed net neutrality, which was repealed in like 2017, and that whole process was shady. But whatever, you can research that. But it's crazy because like people were saying the same thing before they were voting to repeal net neutrality, and the dude who was like saying, "Oh, we don't have to worry about these things that we know that cell companies were doing this before we instituted net neutrality in the first place. Like we already knew they were doing it
for sure.
And then like when we repealed it, they're just going to do it again, and it's like that. Just dumb."
And why isn't this a concern for people? Why can't the people that really require this technology for their jobs and their daily life be the louder people, while they let a bunch of old fuddy-duds that have all the money to pay for it however anyway just keep their hands on the spigot? I mean, this is a right of communication. This is Ma Bell Jr.
Yeah. Or why do we let people who are like lawyers for Verizon like run the part of the government that decides that?
Fuck Verizon. Why is Verizon such a coverage leader when they are such a notorious customer support liability? They are even worse to their employees. Not a fan.
I mean, is it just like any
experience?
Is it just any company?
Like no, Verizon's especially shitty.
Yeah.
I think it's possible to be less shitty than Verizon. I think literally every other company is probably.
Mm.
But man, they're doing something right with the right people to have a solid network, but it's not the only player in the game.
Yeah. Cricket, yo.
They just really...
Where you at, dog?
If it weren't for Sprint sucking so bad on their coverage and their reliability of their coverage, and people being in bed with these CDMA phones, which is like, CD is right in the name, these CDMA phones. No SIM card, you just CDMA your phone in with them. It has to be activated. We have to activate you.
Yeah.
Instead of just, we'll just mail you a SIM. Ting is one that sponsors some other shows I like and stuff. They're not a sponsor to us, but Ting will just mail you a SIM card and you slide her in, get on the GSM network like T-Mobile is GSM. Most of the rest of the world is GSM. So who cares if it's the best network if it's that so proprietary? And Yeah.
And it's probably like a
Sims.
pain in the ass to like switch the phone or get a new phone, and then they have to like transfer all the information. They're like, "Oh no, it's super easy. You just call us up, get on hold. We'll transfer you 4 or 5
Yeah.
times."
Put in *86# on your smartphone. Why are you dialing this in? And then it pops up this ancient message that phones have always done. They give you your IMEI number.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, read us your I. It's only like 11 digits long. Let's make sure that you get your I's and your L's not mixed up. Bullshit. For another thing, okay. Why are there I's and L's in any like password or anything when there's these stupid fonts on the computer where the I and the L look like the same letter?
Yeah.
What kind of
capital
crap
ones, yeah.
language do we have when these letters look identical, and then we have to fucking use a computer that cares about which one we're using, and they look the same?
Yeah.
It makes me want to smash a monitor.
We can do that.
I's and L's. We just need to pick one. We need to get rid of either I or L in this language. Just ditch it. Don't me. We've got to get rid of one of them fucking letters. At least make them shape different all the time. None of these stupid fonts.
Can we just change the L?
Yeah, get it
Like,
out of
what
here.
if we just laid the L down?
Yeah, like a dash.
Yeah, like an underscore, but it has a little nub up at the top and the front. You know
Just
what I mean?
capital L's all the time, lowercase i's all the time. And if you do an uppercase I, if you just got to do an uppercase I, put the dang serifs on it.
Yeah.
I don't care about your sans serif font and how smooth it is with your starting capitalized words with the lowercase L looking
But
like
it's so
baloney.
sleek.
Am I supposed to tell which one's thicker? Get away from here with that thicker letters. All right, I guess it's a drunker episode. Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, so I got something on this too, but you can start it off. This Business Insider
Yeah, line me up. Business Insider.
with Matthew Whitaker, who's the new acting Attorney General. He's not the actual Attorney General because he hasn't been confirmed by Congress.
So I thought Trump was supposed to be a business president because, like, every other article out of Business Insider is like something business-wise that Trump fucked up for everyone in business. And I used to read Business Insider before Trump, and it was not like that. It wasn't like they just rose to prominence as a publication by dissing Trump. They just casually released these relatively neutral-toned articles that explain calmly and passively how Trump decided something that's fucking over business as a whole. Just the concept of business is just going to be hindered by someone that's left a wake of a bankruptcy behind him.
Yeah.
He's lost more money than he's made in his life and can't even prove the money he supposedly has now.
Yeah, because there was this article that popped up about Matthew Whitaker, who is the acting Attorney General, but he used to work for this company that was one of those companies that are going to help you with your patents and things like that.
Oh.
And they basically just like scammed people.
Some do.
Yeah. And but they did promote some like really interesting products, like the toilet made specifically for men with above average genitalia, so that they could take a piss without their dicks hitting the porcelain or the water.
Oh man.
Specifically, like that was
like
the
it's a
market.
toilet just for people that when they stand, it can fall in the water.
No, I think when you actually sit down and take a
Okay,
shit. Yeah,
more
yeah.
plausible. Still out of my territory for sure. I would
Yeah,
have to do
me
quite
too.
an acrobatic feat to get my dick to touch the water. Let me tell you what.
Yeah, who fills their toilets that high?
Oh man.
But then there was another like time
Fills
travel.
that's another question. I love that. Like, I didn't think of this at all. That someone could just fill their toilet higher. Because I forgot toilets used to be higher. You remember when it like all switched to low flow, especially in maybe this is more of a West Coast thing, but all of a sudden all the toilets only had this little bit of water in them. It's like the current amount that I'm content with. I don't want big water toilets to come back. But man, when I was a little kid, the water was like right there. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Maybe it was an issue then. I
know.
definitely got splashed in the booty more.
It was the masculine toilet invention.
That's funny.
But there was some other weird like time travel thing. I gotta research it more, but the article doesn't go in like super in depth. But There was a Sasquatch World Series where the search for Bigfoot continues.
Like a World Series of it.
Yeah, no, just like a constant ongoing like TV or web series.
Oh,
Um,
how honestly fun.
yeah, I just can't like.
I mean, I'm not against that. It's fun, ancient aliens, yay, woohoo. But I mean, it's not senator material.
Or Attorney General material.
Yeah.
But then there was a. They also pushed the idea that time travel could be possible within the next decade to raise money for a theoretical time travel commodity tied directly to the price of Bitcoin.
Oh, that's really shammy sounding.
Time Travel X was branded as an investment vehicle that could help users relive moments from your past or visit your future.
Oh man.
Like,
Oh man.
that's
ugly. That's our attorney general now. That's who.
yeah.
That's the
He
attorney
works.
general.
Well, he works. He was on the board for this company, World Patent Marketing,
Fucking time traveled Mike or whatever.
and
What is his name?
Matthew Whitaker.
Oh, time travel Matt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking.
They were forced to shut down in May, and agreed to pay a settlement of nearly $26 million to resolve wide-ranging Federal Trade Commission complaints about defrauding investors.
Whoa. Okay, this puts some extra scale on this. 23 million.
26.
That's such a large number for a settlement for anything. Like you really ripped people off.
Yeah.
To
a
have
lot
to
of
give him
people,
that much.
Yeah.
Imagine the millions he walked away from if that's the settlement.
Yeah, totally. That's like, you know what I mean? Just from like ripping people off.
Because if you're in that situation where you got it that far and you're having to pay the settlement, you went through the whole court process, you packed away some of it. Some of that's
Oh,
in
yeah.
Ireland or something.
Yeah, if you're willing to settle, you're like, oh yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, I'll just
I
settle
mean,
that.
I don't want to settle for 26 mil, but like, you know.
26 million over a time travel thing.
Well, it was the overall thing was they were just like constantly defrauding people.
And time travel futures.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Google the concept of futures and that'll be extra funny to you.
Yeah. Oh man. Time travel futures. That's funny.
That's the most fucked up concept for a financial market, like possible.
Right. I can't believe people are still in on. You know, that stuff is fucked up, but the Bigfoot shit, like, I mean, we've had shows of like people hunting ghosts for like years,
Yeah.
and they never find shit.
There's never like been a ghost that's could be running for attorney general.
I wish there would,
We have
man.
no ghosts in Congress.
I know. What's up with that discrimination? Like,
Yeah.
I want someone in Congress that like has to use a Ouija board to communicate. Like that would be so fucking great. Like the staffer has to like just like sit there with the Ouija board and like, all right, the yes or no vote.
It's just a ploy for that staffer to be like 2 votes.
Right, like A-N, M-R. Someone's relative with those initials is gonna die. Yep.
Like
Also yes.
it's a yes or no vote. Why are you telling us someone's gonna die? What's with these ghosts and predicting people's deaths? So over it. Can we focus on the issue at hand?
Right. Oh man. We need
This
more.
keeps turning into that. It's all they're good at.
Yeah. Why? Yeah, we need more ghosts in Congress.
More ghosts. Ghosts for Congress. It's the new minority. Is ghosts.
Ghosts from the future.
Ghosts for the future are not representative. Why also ghosts for the future is such a great other level. Because that's the best kind of ghost. We
Yeah,
normally
yeah,
have to
totally.
deal with these old timey ghosts and like the pink lady and stuff. I don't know if that was like a Mormon church lore thing or if that's more.
Pink lady. I don't know. Refresh
No,
my
I
memory.
don't think that's. I think that's a more of a specific. Oh, you know what it is? There's multiple. There's multiple pink ladies. It's just this common visitation, a hallucination of a woman in a pink dress. I think that there's something about the color, that color, and hallucinating someone wearing it.
Is it always like in the bathroom with the lights turned off, like the Bloody Mary type deal?
Like end of a dark hallway usually, or
Yeah, I
like
gotcha.
walking across a theater stage. The theater is black.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're trained to see a figure walk across a stage, so any like lens flare in the corner of your eye or anything is going to be interpreted as that.
Yeah, totally. I don't know. I kind of just want to go start like visiting haunted places. Because the ghost people, the ghost hunters, man, they sure get spooked.
At least looks fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but I just want to put myself to the test. Like, would I get scared? Do I really believe in ghosts and I don't even know it? You know what I mean? Would I like come out there and be like, okay, I totally believe in ghosts now? I don't know. I don't think so.
I doubt it because it doesn't seem like there's a net increase in ghost believers. I don't see that becoming like more popular.
There were like, there's always like tons of shows on those channels that have ghost hunters.
I mean, it's fun to watch, but I think it trickled down to like one or two shows at the end.
Yeah.
And now they're not even. I mean, Ancient Aliens is arguably way more popular than any current ghost hunting show.
Yeah.
And that's mostly about like great haircuts. In the case of some of the hosts.
Yeah. Well, it's always like speculation.
Yeah, which is fun.
Yeah.
I'm into it, but I mean, we can't have that shit voting and like making government decisions. We can't mix those waters.
I mean, you think aliens already aren't making government decisions? Who do you think runs the government, dog?
Alien votes.
Lizards. Iguanas specifically. Not even like lizard aliens, just iguanas.
Well, that's the king of the lizards, supposedly.
Is it though?
Nah.
Is it? I mean, people eat them in some places. I don't think they're the king of the lizards.
People eat other people sometimes even. People have eaten... This one dude ate an airplane.
What? No, he didn't.
No, he like cut it in pieces and ate like every piece of an airplane.
Well,
it took him a long time.
Yeah. So he just like ate a piece of an airplane for...
For like weeks, yeah.
Oh, man.
It was an ongoing thing.
Just like a small like prop plane, I imagine, right?
Yeah. Hey, I think that's the guest arriving along.
I think it is.
There's something about the timing of our show where like this is the time where guests can make it the easiest. We just like start the show about an hour before anyone can make it. What's up? You arrived at the exact same time as our guest last week. Climb in. We're all prepared for you.
Yeah.
We have to catch you up on some polls we've been taking. So one of these was a poll, right?
Yeah, we have multiple polls.
Okay, so you're going to start off right away answering some polls. Climb on the mic. We like to be up on the mic in this show. So grab her, find the flat spot.
Yeah, you can bring it. You can still lean back.
There's two flat spots. One's flat spot's louder than the other. So you
and
feel
give her
it?
a nice little squeeze there.
Is that the one?
Dude, yeah.
Is
It's
that
got to
the
be because
one?
it's rich.
It's gotta be just
yeah.
rich and buttery.
So good to see you.
What's up, man? How you been? Yes.
Yeah,
How
so
you been,
good.
man?
Dude, too good.
Yeah, nice.
How about yourself?
Up until 15 minutes ago, I've been great.
Oh, dude.
I'm just,
Are you all right? Did you get in a car accident?
No, fender bender, man. I just
dude, I'm sorry.
my fender, and I just played for like 4 hours. No, guy was parked behind me in my driveway, and I just clipped him a little bit, and just had to exchange info. And
Oh, that's a bummer.
it's all right though. It was totally my fault.
Sorry about that. But it's fendery stuff, so it's not going to be that big.
Right. Oh yeah. No. I
Thanks,
told
man.
I told him even. I was like, "How much you want for this? I'll give you.
Yeah,
I'll give you $100 right now. More?
If it's like scratch territory, hook it up. Yeah.
Right. No. But he's like, no, just give me your insurance. I was like, all right, man. Just
You're
like,
probably
fuck.
going to sleep on it. Like, do you guys live in the same place?
He's cousins with my neighbor, so it's cool, man.
Neighbor cousins.
I don't know.
I hate the way neighbor cousins park, for the record. They're known for that.
Yeah, I would play that card like really hard. Be like, well, you were parked a little like too close to my spot.
I don't really
you
park
know?
this way around here. In these parts.
I mean, the conversation ended very well. I thought he pulled out some wax and he's like, "Hey, man, you smoke?" And I'm like, "Oh, I would, but I got shit to do, man." Like,
Oh man,
so
rain
it was
check.
all right.
well,
Rain
it's
check,
really
for
really
sure.
hard to turn down wax after an automobile accident of any kind. So, dude, I'm super glad, man. This is for your wax turn down. Give a little smattering for that.
Yes.
Dude, so we've got poll time.
Poll time.
That's the vault door of polls.
All right. Is
All
there
right.
a poll that? All right. No, there's no poll.
No, I don't know if it's really a poll.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe
remember how
classified,
this
but
is even a poll. I just got
No, we
excited
just-
about that concept.
How do you feel about pineapple on pizza, man?
That counts as a poll. I
Yeah.
forgot
Hey.
about this one.
Very controversial topic.
It
Yeah,
is.
it
It's
is,
very
right? In the year
In the
polarizing.
year of our Lord
you
2018.
could
Who knows
wipe
why?
out half of your fans with this one answer.
Right.
Who knows
We're going
why?
right
You know
there.
what? And I don't even give a fuck about
do you
the
want,
fans.
do you
who
want box
disagree.
wine over it?
I'm okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
just making sure.
But
That's how
I
I
like
make
pineapple
decisions.
on pizza.
Right.
I'm gonna say that it's okay to put
delicious.
whatever the hell you want on your pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, let's open the door to say it's not just about pineapple at this point. It's about people dictating what could be put on pizza.
Right.
And it's like, what if you want banana peppers on your pizza?
Yeah, go for it.
You know what I mean? What if you want mushrooms on your pizza? No one complains. No one's like, oh, you like mushrooms on your pizza? You're a dick. You know what I mean? No,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
as soon as you're like, I like pineapple on pizza, people just like flip out.
Right?
I love pineapple on pizza. Sweet and savory, man. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Get with the times.
Exactly. You know
There's
what I mean?
there's a legit science
Put a
behind
little
it.
bacon
yeah.
on that back, and we'll
Yeah.
call it a night.
Yeah, the sweet and savory is a huge point that like foodie people will bring up that I forgot to mention because I'm not one of those people. But when it hits me, I'm like, oh,
Right.
game recognized.
Because we're not
food game.
And
going to
savory.
war
Fat
over like
recognized fat.
pineapple pizza. Yeah.
Okay, what was another one? We got more. That's the slicing samurai.
I don't know,
Sword
was that
of
the only
knowledge.
Slicing the pineapple from
Yeah.
my fucking pizza.
Did you see the
Yeah.
pineapple pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns people made for Halloween?
I didn't.
Oh, that's a great
pretty cool,
Halloween
though.
weapon decoration island thing. Yeah, people are carving up pineapples. Way better tasting filling, if you ask me.
Yeah. And not everything is made out of it around this time of year.
Yeah.
No. All right. This isn't necessarily a poll. All right, let me just break this down. You can guess which state this happened in. All right.
Oh yeah, what state this happened in? Is
All
the
right.
game.
So, old woman, 73 years old.
Florida.
Damn!
This dude.
You know, all news comes from Florida. I don't know what it is. I think that's where
Pretty
news is made.
Right?
You
It
know?
seems
That's
that
like
way.
where news is born.
Yeah. It seems that way. Did you read the story?
I didn't. You can tell me the story though. I'm interested to hear it.
Yeah,
I am
no,
interested to hear
it's
it.
just really quick, but just some old 73-year-old woman, right, is concerned about the meth she's using and decides to take it to her doctor for a second opinion, where then it might adversely affect her. So of course it happens in Florida.
She's like, I want to get this shit tested.
You should
Yeah,
be
right.
able to do that though.
I don't trust.
It's like
I don't trust Billy Joe down the street
I'm
selling
not
me
saying
my shit.
legalize street drugs or anything,
Yeah.
but if you could legalize double checking them at least.
That's true. That's true. I'm sure there's some subcontractor that'd be like, oh yeah, I'll test that shit for
That's-
you. Just rub it on his gums. Blood just starts dripping out of his mouth.
Fail.
Yeah,
He's like, oh, this is a little too
That's
good.
a cool
I'm
job.
gonna have to confiscate
that's a
this.
pretty cool job. Yeah, like that's not a bad
That's
gig.
like a notary, but with drugs.
right.
Certified.
All right, what's another?
I think that was our only polls.
Okay, I think we now
I
we
don't
need to
know.
dive into the ones we were saving.
I mean, we didn't have polls.
because there was some pensive picking through the news that I saw that I know you're holding back on us.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm just super indecisive today. But
I'm framing it cooler than that.
yeah. Big news in the world of. Hold on, I don't even know what this is. I never heard this word.
It's funny
before.
to start with that and then
Yeah, no, I saw it and then I forgot the word. I was like, I need to remember the specific word, and then I totally forgot it. So don't mind me.
hey, that's okay. That's what we have. Behold, once we learn the specific word, we'll know.
Yeah, big news in the world of metrology.
Oh, okay. Well, that was actually worth it. That's a.
Yeah, and if you're wondering, like, no one has ever heard that word before today.
It makes me think of metallurgy, but I know that's not. what it
No,
would
it's
be.
just the science of measuring things or deciding how we measure.
Oh, I know
things.
what you're going to talk about. I watched a video
Yeah,
on this today.
they decided to standardize some units of measurement for. Hold on.
Okay, I want to see how quickly I can explain this before getting too heady and boring.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things that starts heady and boring. But basically, all of the metric systems of measurement are based on astronomical constants so that you could get a specific unit of measurement to say this many of these things anywhere in the universe and reference it to any other alien or whoever. But we haven't been able to do that with the kilogram. There was the big kg and it's like the boss kilogram in like a vacuum jar, in another vacuum jar, and like another vacuum jar. So it looks fucking cool, and it's just a cylinder of metal that is exactly a kilogram.
Right.
But there's been multiple of them in the earth. No, we don't bury them or anything. There's different places, different
That's what
countries
makes
that
the
have
trees grow.
Yeah. Big key. Big kg. I'm trying to say the word kg.
Yeah,
like
right.
one.
Big gig.
I didn't I didn't like think that one through. But anyway, so there's multiple of these fellas, and they are measured. Their weight is measured periodically, and they've been drifting. So we're measuring weight, measuring mass at such an accurate level now in order to get this quantum level of science that we're doing, and we can't agree that it's all the same thing when it's different, even with these fellows that have drifted just sitting there in vacuum jars around the world. So now it's being referenced to Planck's constant, which is a measurement that relates to well, we can use Planck's constant to figure out EMC equals MC squared and figure out like a certain amount of energy based on the speed of light. And man, you watch a video right before this thing.
I think Planck's constant is like the smallest unit of measurement we can actually like measure.
Yeah. So if we fix that to a specific number, that's the most accurate number we can come up with, is like, this is our standard number that Planck's constant will be for this reference. Then we can get an energy measurement that we can then convert to mass with E equals MC squared. And then we have this exact amount of mass. That's like, this is this unit of mass.
So what are they saying? Like things way different around the Earth?
Or like an object sitting there can have enough particles just kind of leave and re-enter this dimension or whatever they're doing quantumly, that its weight can drift
heavy.
Even if there's another one with like this, even if it's an object this large, it can lose and gain molecules enough or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was just looking at it because I think like America will be, because we haven't wanted to convert to the metric system, and now we'll just be like double behind everyone else who uses it.
Well, we've been doing science in the
matters.
metric system. The entire American scientific community is all metric anyway, which kind of divides like an us and them of the scientific community and the regular people, which isn't good.
It has to be us. Our way is right.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like we really should be in a community of where everyone being scientists.
When
we should
FDR invented science, he was doing it for the Americans.
Why are we voting while thinking that there's different people that do science? Like, oh, we're not smart enough to do like even use the same measurement as science people, but we're voting on shit.
Yeah,
fuck
like,
that.
Oh man, it's a little tough.
Should have to vote in metric too somehow.
The scientists, they don't know what they're talking
And
about.
why can't we vote for a second choice while I'm on that rant? Why can't I pick like second choice dude? And if he doesn't, if first choice dude loses, everyone's second choice vote.
Yeah,
can
like
count
we
then.
put in our vote to the High Council or whatever the fuck, and then they're like, all right, yeah, we don't really like that guy.
But at least we can. At least your vote can count if your second and third choice can count. That's being experimented
That's
with.
very
actually.
true. That's very true. You're like, well, my first place didn't win, but
Yeah.
I got the silver.
I
Whatever.
forget what it's called. I think it's multi-choice voting.
Rank choice.
Ranked choice voting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's being experimented with. I really think it's the future
Yeah.
to make voting matter again or make voting great again.
Well, I think to get people enthused about it.
Yeah.
I think that's the importance of it, is because people say, oh, your vote doesn't count, but it's like, your vote doesn't count if not enough people know how the system works. Like an unintelligent vote is just as bad as a non-vote. You know what I mean? Maybe even worse. And it's a touchy subject, man. It's like,
Yeah, one vote
you
can
and
be
I
part
are
of
of
a
the same
community.
generation. When we were growing up, it's just like, you just don't talk about this shit. You have your friends that you talk about it with, but you don't talk about it on this grand scheme. But then we grew up in this weird age of like where social media has taken over human psychology, essentially, that now people just have this such skewed opinion about, oh, this is what I think and this is what I think. It's like, well, maybe we're both morons, and maybe we both have to like read a book or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Everyone can start a community. Everyone can lead a community and start a cult.
Yeah.
And you can be part of one person that votes in a whole community, then that can make a big difference. But to have your vote thrown away because it wasn't a viable option and not have a second choice, it just seems super Stone Age. Like,
By
of
the way,
course-
you could fill out an application for my cult online. If you go to Kilfeather.org.
Of course, it's an application. I love that.
We don't want just anyone coming into the cult. all right?
Screening, I mean, headshot as well.
Yeah,
both male
right.
and female headshots.
Gonna go out on the cruise liner. Hold what the hell's that? L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh,
yeah.
cruise
Oh,
line.
Hubbard
International waters is the place for a
That's
cult.
the party. That's party
Yeah,
time.
that's when it's the good cult kind of situation.
Yeah.
Oh
Nice.
man, okay, another juicy one.
Another juicy one. Nope. Hold on. I have a few things about voting in here. I don't know if we want to stay on that.
Holler.
I mean, we should. Well, the thing is, I I have a title as "We Have to Stop Superman from Voting" because recently there's always claims of voter fraud. Like every election, there's always claims of voter fraud. There's been multiple studies on voter fraud, and there's never any evidence of like a significant amount. It's a very, very small percentage of people that do it, like 0.001% or something. So it's inconsequential. But recently Trump came out and was talking about illegal or voter fraud and that people will stand in line to vote. Who wants to do that in the first place? Sometimes it can take fucking hours depending on where you live, right? They just stand in line to vote. And of course they're voting illegally in the first place. And then they just go out to their car, change clothes, get in a disguise, and then go vote again. Like,
Yeah, as if there's time to get that done.
that has never happened.
I'm just at Walmart trying to get my frozen chicken nuggets. Like, I don't got time to be standing in line
Yeah.
twice, you know?
Yeah, like who the fuck wants to fucking vote twice, man? Like it's already
Even if you did that, you'd have to have a second ID, and that
Yeah.
second identity would have to been registered. So that second identity would have had to like jump through all these other hoops to get registered in the first place.
yeah, it just seems like
There's already
so,
a controversy with voter registration not being easy enough.
Or it's just Instagram based. They usually got their pumpkin spice and they got 2 stickers. Like, I got 2 stickers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, right.
Oh, 2-sticker
And it's like you could've
motherfucker.
just,
Sticker
like-
motherfuckers.
Yeah, like my friend gave me the second sticker.
Oh,
And I just
sure
think
he
it's a
did.
hilarious
Voter
concept, but
frauder.
it's always pushed. Like every election, voter fraud is always pushed.
Meanwhile, there's some legit suspicious voter fraud on the back end when there's all these signature rejections. When you have one party primarily responsible for the validation of the signatures, and suspiciously, all of the signatures that are rejected are predominantly the other party.
Right.
And all these people that had their signatures rejected have to jump through hoops to make their vote actually go in.
Right.
When it's a signature, I don't have to write anything. Like write more than once every maybe 2 months.
Yeah.
So how good am I supposed to write my signature?
Right.
It's like a
hasn't
scribble
it-
at this point.
Like, and I'm sure you guys have come to a point where you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna change my signature. Like I'm doing the lazy signature for the rest of my life, and then you
Yeah.
might change it again. Like I did that. I don't know. In mid-20s, I was like, fuck this. Like trying to do a neat signature. It's just scribbles.
Middle school,
Like, who
I
cares?
realized it was a joke and that there was
Yeah,
no
yeah.
computer powerful enough to compare it. And long after there was computers powerful enough to compare it, I knew that they weren't because no one else was consigning anything consistently either.
Right. Well, now it's like if you go on Square and you just scribble your name, no one gives a shit.
No one
They
checks.
don't-
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they
not
never
like that's
have.
how you write either.
Right.
And it's on the thing that would be compared is the signature that's on my driver's license that I did into the digital pad of the DMV.
Right,
Which
absolutely.
took 3 tries to even have it make a consistent line.
damn right.
And
Yeah.
it didn't look anything like how I write. It's a thick ass piece of crap, resistive
Yeah.
bullshit pad.
Right.
It's
So,
so,
You
yeah.
think
It's
the
so
DMV would step their game up? Like, where's our tax
Yeah.
money going? Let me get better digital pens up in the
iPad
DMV.
Pro this shit.
Like, come on,
Right.
man. It's 2018. We're supposed to have flying cars by this fucking point.
Right?
Jesus
Right.
Christ.
Oh man.
Well, it
and
would-
meanwhile,
Well,
like,
well, we do, but you know, Elon Musk is fucking hurling them into Jupiter, so it's like, you know, just for funsies.
Did you know Japan's landing, orbiting landing 2 different probes on Mercury?
Fuck.
Japan's probing the shit out of Mercury right now.
Yeah.
It
I
needs
think
to be
that's the
probed.
most interesting thing about our United States government or any government of the world is their secrecy of the space program. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're going to just go to Mars.
Yeah.
It's like, we're just going to drop a little thing and just drive around for a while.
right?
take
Like, yeah,
pictures.
we've been working on this for like 10 years,
Right.
and surprise,
Right, exactly.
in 2 months.
All the people that died trying to keep it a secret for that 10 years.
Right.
And
Like,
then
no
just
reason
be
for it
like,
to be a secret anymore. No,
surprise, America.
there's nothing there, it turns out.
It's just all dirt. Yeah.
Venus, though, Venus is closer.
Yeah.
Instead of having to pull water out of dust, that we could just float between 2 like gases over there and just like jetsons it up on Venus, and it could be a way better settlement. But everyone's surfacist. Everyone wants to go be on a
Right.
surface.
Yeah, it's like, what do you got to offer on this? We already got dirt here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
fuck
If
a
you
surface.
need-
That great.
If you need, drop a little scooper and take some with you. you
Yeah,
know what I
Right.
mean?
Drink
Study
it up,
back
swim
home.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some like
Fuck a
artificial
surface.
dirt. Yeah.
People live on cruise ships and
Like, don't
stuff.
haven't people dreamed of like floating in the clouds and shit? That's
Yeah.
why we invented like airplanes. Like people wanted to fly.
Venus
Just do
clouded
that.
up. can scoop up all that shit you're floating in. It's practically fuel already.
Test it on the ship. You're
Yeah.
good.
It'd be great. So that's something.
Why do you want to leave your ship? You know what I
Right?
mean? Like, you got endless energy and oxygen in that ship. You don't need to
For reals.
step outside.
Some
frontier,
internet,
yeah.
have some Venus internet. All
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi's
Quantum
really-
entanglement.
Intergalactic
really-
Google. Like, oh my god.
Dude, quantum entanglement could do that though.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that when there's one particle that whatever its buddy does, it's going to do the same thing across any boundary
Oh,
of space
yeah.
and time at the same
Right.
time?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be some entangled internet over there on Venus.
This is some heavy shit, man.
That's way more plausible than the time travel bullshit that the guy that's currently our attorney general we were just talking about had to pay a multi-million dollar, like $2-digit million, like $26 million settlement for a scheme involving investing in Bitcoin and time travel at the same time.
Wow.
So you could like have this time travel investments and memories from the future. Like, this made no sense.
You invest now for when time travel is a possibility.
Yeah.
And then
'Cause
the
it's for sure.
The future you comes back and is like, great investment guy.
Yeah.
You really did it. Invest more. I'm totally not taking your money for future me. I'm a different person than you.
You just hallucinate yourself at the foot of your bed saying, I have seen me for the future, invest in this.
Right.
You wake up and you do, and then you totally die broke.
Just got hair plugs and a
Yeah.
and a fucking seersucker suit on.
Future me was a dick. I don't look like that guy at all now.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, for
man.
sure, man.
Oh, so I did. All right. So Stan Lee passed.
Yeah, R.I.P. Stanley.
Yeah, in a freak Infinity Glove accident.
That's a weird detail.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. That didn't really happen. But of
I
course-
know that was your.
If you could have any grandpa in the world,
right?
you know what I mean?
dude.
Oh my god!
Oh, here's a question we've
Like-
asked several times. If you could have
If
any
you could have any
power-
husband in the world, I would marry him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good
Yeah.
call. Dude, what would your superpower be? What's your secret
There's a lot to
superpower?
take into
Wait,
consideration.
here's a
there.
more fun question. This is more specific too. Mutation. It doesn't necessarily have to give a superpower to you.
Right.
And this disqualifies some superpowers.
Like Wolverine. I mean, except for his healing factor.
Correct, because part of that's a
You can-
technological
right,
thing.
exactly.
Yeah. So if you could have any mutation,
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, healing factor kind of sucks. Oh, cool, I can heal. Okay, so I'm just gonna get shot in the face, and then I'm gonna feel that pain, and then heal, and then nothing. Like at least
Yeah.
Wolverine's got berserker rage, so he could,
there's some useful other layers there.
he could schnick some people's heads off and
Right.
shit. But
I'm very confident in mine. I'd be able to just be covered in fingers. Like my whole body's just all
just
fingers.
all, just like the tips of fingers, or
No,
just
full
physical
on
fingers,
bones
Just
in 'em and
full-
everything.
Oh,
Just straight up, I'd be the human
So
koosh ball.
yes,
Yeah. And I just go around feeling the world. Everything would feel amazing.
ultimate. That's the ultimate feel.
Right?
right
Roll
there.
around. I could just go like this and like finger around.
I mean, would you have a sentience about you? Would you have a mouth?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What about
I would
your
look just
eye?
like this, covered in fingers.
Oh, okay.
So I could even
Sure.
like pose. I would just look like
But what
really
about,
hairy
like,
from a
retracting
distance.
the fingers.
No.
You know what I mean?
I could make a bunch of fists all over me.
Okay.
Yeah, I can kind of braid
Oh,
them.
that's true. Wow.
Cross pairs
Yeah,
of them.
it's like finger Kevlar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would
Gross.
undulate like a caterpillar.
That is the most horrifying thing I've ever thought of.
It would
in my
look
life.
disgusting, but it would feel amazing. I
don't
wouldn't
know.
fight crime with shit.
That
There's
would
no
take me a long time to think about.
because people think about these
So-
powers and stuff that they could like
Yeah.
do stuff with. That's like crime fighty or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're into box wine territory.
I don't know. I think like Doctor Strange's powers are cool.
Yeah,
like,
it's
just
exploratory.
because
It's
it's like he didn't really like gain those from a mutation or whatever. Like, yeah, he got the accident, whatever. But that was all like healing through a monk and like being able to then like you're now a warlock of time. Like I don't know. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
especially when you get like them foldy buildings.
Oh yeah.
Any
for sure.
power where like that's just
Where
what
you
you.
just distort reality at your will. Like oh.
The first time I overdosed on anti-anxiety medication.
The
was like
first time,
Doctor
folks.
When like that foldy, it wasn't as extreme as like foldy building time. That
Yeah.
would have been so great, but I wanted that. Instead, it was just like really tall car, like driving the car, and the car just seemed really high off the ground.
yeah.
And other times it seemed really like in the ground. We called that boat car. We had boat car
Boat
moment.
car.
car.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
because I'd have to like announce it to people around me, like, well, I'm having boat car, woo.
Yeah.
Boat car time. Yeah.
Oh, but man, let's just once again bring it back to the man Stan. What a fucking life, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To just have that, like, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy and maybe it's the LSD over the years, you know, but it's like, I think that when people, not necessarily when they create stories and when they have just like a wide imagination, that they're all seers, you know, that they're telepaths who could, you know, see the universe. But I think that there's kind of something to that in if you believe it, it makes it real. You know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, Spider-Man's not a real dude for sure, but it's such a big entity now that it's real to people. You know what I mean? Like, people will camp overnight, you know, to go get this dude's signature. And it's like, man, and maybe not in his later years, you know what I mean? Because of the, you know, the alleged overworking of him and because of his fame and because of his legendary status as a comic creator, you know, there was that. And I'm not sure how much merit there is to it, but there was that, like, oh, people were getting him to do these conventions and which I really hope isn't the case. I mean, because he seemed like a really fun, just happy-go-lucky
Seemed to be
dude.
enjoying it.
Yeah, he seemed to be like
Yeah.
a fucking Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, right.
yeah, dude, absolutely.
Dude.
And who didn't love that guy? There is not
Totally.
one Marvel, like,
He never looked unhappy
No,
being in anything
for
either.
sure.
Yeah,
for
his
sure.
cameos in like all the Marvel movies
Yeah.
are like always killer.
No,
like,
and he's never looks unhappy in a foot course in those cameos. He's so into it.
Well,
Oh,
a friend
yeah.
of mine were talking about that the other day about, like, you think he was happy with the renditions of the movies, and I went, oh, fuck yeah. He doesn't care if it's exact to the story or whatever.
Just to see it
It's-
on the screen is
it's
amazing.
Disney.
Yeah,
Now it's
yeah.
Disney. Now it's going to be in every child's mind for the next 60 years. Disney ain't going out of business. I got news for you, all you listeners out there. When Disney goes, that's when you know the apocalypse is coming. Because that's the
It's the entertainment hub for sure.
exactly of
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
You know, like, so.
Yeah, and the movies are not like you watch some of those movies and there's just these like huge epic scenes and you're like, that looks like it was pulled straight off like a comic book, but it looks so
Right.
fucking rad.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can really
Feelings,
experiment with the cinematography and the art, once again, of making movies. Instead of it just being like, you know, like Aquaman's coming out. And I'm a huge DC fan too, but it's just a CGI. It's just CGI the whole time. It's a 3D ride. You
Yeah,
know
the
what I mean? It's
popcorn
not
movies,
a
but they're
physical
great.
roller coaster that takes you places.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, I don't know, man.
But to have those flaws in the Marvel characters that
Yeah.
Stan Lee was so famous for is really the secret sauce.
right, that was.
So
Yeah.
They humanize
That's
those
what appealed
characters.
to the youth.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
I think Spider-Man was really like the first one that was like just a normal dude who had like real life problems, and that's what was like
Yeah.
a huge focus of the
On
comics.
the X-Men, the mutants, that was all, you know, about equal rights and
Yeah.
you know, the gay and lesbian community and
Tons
like,
of minority issues and-
Exactly. Like, it's just, it really was a reflection of our world, which is why I brought up that whole, you kind of think like,
And a
yeah, it's
message that
just
the
an
weirdos can be
imagination.
the most valuable.
Right. It's just a huge, crazy, brilliant imagination for sure. And I don't discredit the human condition when I say that, maybe it's something more than that. You know, maybe it's something
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this is their interpretation of the world. It's their interpretation of the universe. You know what I mean? And when you have someone like Stan Lee who's like, yeah, the multiverse and these different dimensions, and then like now you have people like Michio Kaku, like,
It's like,
yeah,
well, there's more possibility in that.
yeah,
than
there's
we
like,
anticipated
it's
by
not,
now.
that's
how it
science
is.
fiction,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like, holy shit, whoa, this was just a comic creator.
Right?
This is just a dude who drew monsters in the 50s.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
to create this just immense universe, you know, it's mind-bending, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, gnarly. Fucking Stanley. Cheers, man.
Yeah, cheers, Stan.
That-
See you on the other side.
That dang Infinity Glove though,
Fuck, man.
that
Right.
gets you every
You know
time.
what? Hey, brings me to another quick little snippet. I kind of, you know what? I agree with Thanos, man. Snap it up because
yeah.
we are screwing the world up, man.
Yeah, I
You know
feel the
what
same
mean?
way.
It's like if I have to be one to go, all right,
Yeah.
cool.
The thing is-
greater good, yo.
Are we really though? Because if you think about it, the people that need the greatest resources right now, that don't have clean water, they don't have
Right.
access to toilets and stuff, those
Right.
people, the resources are plenty there. It's
Yeah.
their own government and their own
Yeah.
subjugation and generations
It's
of
corporate
oppression of their
interest
geographic.
that it's corporate interest that
If not
disables
corporate-
you, like
Yeah, that or also they're in areas where it's just been so war torn and such
Right.
ancient corporations. There was like hundreds of years ago that they are destined to be fucked being born where they are.
Yeah, exactly.
But the resources are there. It's just a distribution issue. When
Right.
we have like the whole, I don't want to get into some 1%er preaching thing though, but there's so much empty land. And yet we're not spreading out into the empty land anymore.
Oh,
Cities are
absolutely,
growing.
man. Oh,
We passed the
absolutely.
point to where more than 50% of the population lives in cities
Right.
and uses space more efficiently. There's so many changes that need to happen in how we use space, and
Yeah.
we've conglommed up in these cities, yet we're still using cars like crazy, where it doesn't make sense with the congestion. So things are hella disorganized, but I think it's a lot more complicated than something we could like fix with just population issues.
Right. Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, like you really see that living in a place like this where land is owned. You know what I mean? People, they sit on their land on Las Vegas Boulevard in Wigwam
Yeah.
until the casino comes around and says, we want to buy this for $6.7 million or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So people, the land is their investment. And I think it's been that way, since we colonized here. Like, oh, we're going to take this little land and I'm going to give it to my great, great, great grandbaby.
Yeah.
But it's not like that anymore because of the exchange of, I guess kind of the
It's a bad way
nomad
for a city to
culture.
work.
Right.
It doesn't work for the longevity of us as a species
Yeah.
to share resources and pool them in a city when someone just has a big fistful they're holding on to. Like the Fountain Blue
Right.
is a huge scar and waste of economic potential on Las Vegas, while someone just snatched it up as this
And they're
crisis
holding on to
building.
it like,
Yep.
who's going to give me the highest
Exactly.
bid?
Wasn't even going to put glass on the building
Right.
until someone else like donated the glass on it just because they own the casino next door.
Right. Exactly.
It's so messed up.
Yeah.
But then you
It's
get
one giant
into,
slot machine. You know what I mean? Like it's
yeah. But the
Yeah.
idea of like
Not gonna
eminent
talk about
domain and people not being able to own property in America would just like that's going to have as much controversy.
Right. No, but you're totally right. I mean, there's just so much space, but that space is owned. Or if it's government land, like what do they need it for? Like let's
Yeah.
divvy up. Why are the cities going up and crowded? Like I recently, maybe not recently, 6 months ago, went to San Francisco, and I hadn't been there. I mean, I'd only been there once or twice in my life prior. But one time was on tour, so we were just passing through. It wasn't like I got to see the city. We went and we fucking jammed and had a good time, and then had to leave, go to the next town.
Yeah.
But I went with my lady not too long ago, and it's just so tight. Everything is just right there, and it's like it's like New York on meth. I don't know what it. Because I mean, I lived in New York for a long time as well, and the city seemed like it at least had a little bit more breath. It had a little bit more, lung capacity.
Which
so to
one
speak.
seemed that way? San
New
Francisco
York.
seemed- Oh, okay.
New York did. I mean, and that was okay. Fuck, 12 years ago.
Okay.
That the last time I've been, rather. And I've heard it's a lot more congested now, but still, it's like cities just they seem to pack and pack into this little can when it's like there's so much space around us. Why does it take me 300 miles of desert?
That's
know
a
what I
super
mean?
good
Like-
question. And it all has to do with people getting to their jobs and getting to their resources quicker
Right.
and sharing these things better.
Yeah.
We all can have things cheaper if we just live close together.
Right.
But we don't have to waste so much energy on cars and
Right.
how expensive it is in time and money to have greater distances between things and to rely on cars. But
Right.
man, we are in bed with cars in America.
Yeah,
So even as
true.
we've come closer together and built cities like there are prototypes for in Europe, that people can exist without cars and save a lot of money
Right.
and have a cheaper cost of living
and a
Even
better
as-
environment.
Yeah, because we go, how can they live there? Gas is expensive. All their products are more expensive. They
They
don't.
ride a bike.
Yeah,
that's how
that's
they
because
do
they
it.
have less. Their cost of living is drastically different when that factor's taken out,
Yeah.
and we're so in bed with that factor. I know I am.
Right.
It's just hard to just culturally imagine not having that level of
Right.
freedom over distance.
Right. I mean, it's the convenience of it all. It's like, oh, I couldn't live without my car. It's like you couldn't walk.
And to be able to go to the next city alone, like I can get in a box and go to the next city
Right.
by myself.
Right.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or it feels that way. It's a concept of power that's
Yeah.
cultural.
Right.
It's
On the
not-
road, man.
It's not logical.
Yeah.
I could do that in a plane similarly
something,
priced.
it's definitely something primal within us, you know, that
Yeah.
that nomad mindset where it's like you've got to explore and you got to see. I mean, and there's plenty. I
Cowboy.
think it has to be 50-50 because there's plenty of people too who are just like, I'm cool right here. I'm
Yeah.
cool with like breeding. Just I'm good.
And those
Build a
people
fence
have to-
around me and don't come in.
Those
Yeah.
poor people have to pay more for everything
Right.
because of my nomadic ass.
Yeah,
Saying I gotta run around
exactly.
everywhere and it's gotta be
Yeah.
affordable.
It's all your fault, was. That was.
All right.
Yeah, no, that was kind of on the subject of one of the pieces of the van life being more popular, and that people aren't really willing to, or that it's too expensive to like live
Right.
in a lot of cities. So people are just opting to like live in vans.
Especially like Silicon Valley.
Well, I mean, or take it to tiny homes. You know, those
Yeah.
are $60,000, and you could get a nice little tiny home that's pretty much a studio apartment on wheels. And
Yeah,
there you
right.
go, man. You know, it's like
And like, but the thing is, like, if you organize them well, like it's enough space
It
for
is,
people,
for
and like
sure.
they can be comfortable.
Right.
But we're often sold on the idea of like having just way more space than we need. Like,
Activity space.
right.
yeah, activity space. Yeah.
I mean, like I'd say, like this is my minimal amount of space, honestly. Like I need to be able to like stand and stretch, and like don't put me in a fucking box. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
I
yeah.
There's gotta be
can't-
somewhere in the house where I can spin around with my arms out.
Yeah, for sure.
Gotta get
you
that.
know?
I gotta get that spin on.
Yeah, I got to do my 80s dance party yoga routine.
Right. Got
and,
the leg warmers and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But no, for sure. I think that people are just getting to that point where it's like life isn't meant to be lived slaving every day for menial bullshit, you know? And I think people are kind of waking up and being more in tune with it, but not really realizing it yet.
Yeah, yeah,
Because the human mind and our consciousness can only really it can't see past our perception of life. So when we're like, just waking up every day and we're on a routine and we go to work and we got to pay our taxes and then we got to get gas every day and we got to go to the store to get the meat and you know what I mean? It's like we lose sight of like, oh my God, it's been 50 years and I haven't had a single like existential thought, like, oh my God, I have children and I have
been on,
no
like,
idea how to
autopilot.
talk to them. I
Yeah,
have no
yeah.
idea what they're feeling. Daddy, what's the meaning of life? Like, I don't fucking know. I'm 60 years old and I have no fucking idea. Like,
Right.
that sucks for youth culture. You know what I mean?
The
Like,
fear of having to face that without thinking about it beforehand.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
feel like is a theme that's come up in your music before.
yeah, probably.
Like the
probably haphazardly for sure.
like a little knock on the door to remind everyone to like look out the side window sometimes,
Right.
as you're running around doing your routine.
Or better yet, look out the side window and realize that there's so much that we haven't even like come to terms with. We
Yeah.
haven't even seen like I try to explain to people all the time. Me and a buddy were just having a conversation last night about how fun conspiracy theories are,
Right.
and how it's like so sexy to believe that the government's after us, and it's like a movie. It's like everything is
Yeah.
it's unexpected, right? But like, I don't know, man. It's,
Some of the biggest conspiracies we totally know about now. We know about
for
everything
sure.
that happened with the Cuban Missile Crisis.
right,
And all that.
exactly. And
So
it's just like, no big deal.
We suck
right?
at holding
know what I mean?
secrets. Yeah.
But still, it's just like there's a lot of things that we can't understand because of our perception. Like we can only accept the fact that these things exist physically. And now, like, even bringing it back to what we were talking about before about the kilogram, it's like we're realizing that everything's not just cut and dry.
Yeah, we
You know
can't
what I
tie
mean?
it to some object sitting in a jar.
Exactly.
It's got to be tied to
Exactly.
something that the universe does.
Right.
That relates to mass now,
Exactly. Man.
which I studied up on and just like butchered anything on. But this is about introducing people to some stuff to Google later.
Right.
And react to some stuff.
And that's
later.
the beauty of it all is just to step back and say, I don't know shit. I think I know it all.
Yeah.
But no, in reality, I don't know anything.
The
I am
stuff we
just
don't
a
know is the funnest
speck on a
stuff.
planet spinning in infinite
Yeah.
space. Like,
Just a rock hurling through the air.
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Like,
Totally. That's so among the spirit of the show, for sure.
yes.
That's the eye twinkle that we're going to go for among
That's the
others.
apple of its eye. for
Yeah.
sure.
All right, I think this was in your was one of yours.
Wait, Before
No.
cue that,
I won't
and,
wait.
and then cue the next one. I want to mention a couple sponsors
Oh,
because
yeah,
we've
yeah,
got
go.
past the middle of the hour.
That's good.
And I feel like we should acknowledge some of our awesome local folks like Strip and Dip Chicken, has like the best substrate for sauces on your chicken. Strip and Dip, look them up.
They're
Naked
legit.
City Pizza, man. When you want pepperoni cups, right, where the pepperoni forms this little like those hot corn poppers, you fold
Yes.
inside out and then pop up on the table, but made of meat from an animal.
An all-American standard. Pepperoni cups.
Pepperoni cups. Naked City Pizza. All these sponsors you can mention RadioVegas.rocks. I believe a great majority of them you can even get 10% off by mentioning RadioVegas.rocks. Another one is Pinche's Tacos that gives you a free blood orange margarita when you order a Gringo.
I think it's the other way around.
Oh, you get the free Gringo taco and you get the
Yeah.
blood orange margarita. That's right. Yeah, you want to get both anyway, and you're going to pay less at Pinche's Tacos. It's a swear word you get to say when you say their name. A lot of us don't realize that. It's so great.
A lot of us gringos tacos don't really understand, but
Totally.
Yeah.
Them, and if you're feeling Latin still yet, Juan's Flaming Fajita and Cantina
Oh, man.
is another classy establishment.
that's a whole episode.
And
right
yeah,
there.
and
like
that dude
I am
is so cool.
I am not kidding though. Like
There's a real
Juan's
Juan,
is
and he's amazing.
just is out of this world, man.
Yeah.
It really is.
There's a real dude named Juan that's a cool guy that seems like someone you'd bump into in life anyway and be your buddy. And that meanwhile has this magic food talent.
Right.
So take him up
absolutely.
on that.
And you're like, oh man, I want fajitas, and I want them to set it on fire right in front of me and burn my eyebrows off. Like it's delicious. It is the best
That's
fajita I have ever had in my life.
That spectacle is,
Yeah.
again, that's another thing that's
Exactly.
worth bringing up. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And when you're done getting drunk at that place, Hangover Joe's is back.
Oh,
Hangover Joe's is
shit.
back so hard. I miss them. They just came back to us with like a bunch of boxes. Been chugging that shit like it's 5 hour. It works similarly effective with B vitamins and such. But
It's been sustaining. It's been sustaining my life this week.
Right?
Honestly, like just a little nip in the morning, I'm good.
yeah.
Not for hangovers, but just for the old B vitamin goodness.
But then when you're hungover,
Yeah.
what does it help you
Yeah.
get? Feeling a lot better, a
Yeah,
lot more
totally.
Move
like
over, Pedialyte.
humanizing. Oh yeah, shit's all over Pedialyte for sure. I'm in that Pedialyte pocket for sure. And like the Hangover Joe's, man, the way it can energize you through the whole situation is just like no other. Even that great Maloof beverage. Do you hear the Maloofs changed it from never hungover to never too hungover?
Oh, yeah.
To then it's now called.
Maybe a little hungover.
Now it's called No Promises. No kidding. No, it's called Drink Aid now.
Oh, drink aid.
And not that that's a bad name, not that that's a bad product, but it's nowhere near
Yes.
as good tasting as Hangover Joe's. And although I haven't used it as many times, I once got like a wine bottle of Never Too Hungover, and just kept like drinking. And then the next morning, I drink from the wine bottle of the Never Too Hungover, and that was a move. But man, it didn't do the sustaining like nutrition-y thing that
Man,
Hangover Joe's
drink
gets
aid.
going.
I mean, at least Gatorade's got a gator in it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
The funnest part
couldn't
though.
be like crocodile aid.
The slogan was the hangover experts. And that just implies that the Maloof family, the way they live is just hungover all the time.
Well,
Like,
they're doing secret data in the palms. You know, that's where they study the human condition. You know, like,
that's so how I picture it.
Yeah.
The Palms is just like a hangover study.
come get drunk here.
Oh,
3
man.
for 1.
Visit the Palms, y'all. It's like that. It's a hangover study.
And go see Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, now playing at Brenton Theaters.
Fantastic Beast?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I don't watch
Fantastic
movie
Beasts and Where to
trailers
Find
enough.
Them.
Yeah, some
It's
Harry
like
Potter.
it's like a Harry Potter spin-off, I think.
Nice.
Harry Potter prequel.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of Harry Potter, actually, this is a terrible segue because none of you know that my wife, Ange Kerfoot, recently found a thrift store jacket that looks like a Harry Potter jacket.
Hell
Dude.
yeah.
This is a tenuous string, just to bring up that
Yes.
she wanted me to tell you that she's a total fan and wanted me to
Oh, hell yeah. Well,
bug you
thank
about
you.
that publicly.
Thank you. And you know what? I'm really happy about the jacket because those are hard to come by. You know what I mean? Like, you get those like people at people who
Especially on the West
LARPers.
Coast.
LARPers are there at like 9 a.m. Like, oh my God, they're going to open. And they find all the cool jackets.
It's hard LARPing in the West Coast. They don't get those nice jackets
Yeah,
over here. It's not a
yeah.
good LARPing coast.
No, but tell Angie I said thank you. And I'm looking
Word.
forward to some more stuff that she's doing, man. I saw some little flutterings on the internets. But,
Yeah, because we're collabing on a new album together.
man, I've been trying just really hard to stay away from the internet, honestly. Like using it as a tool and being like, I need to know something cool, right?
or
but
as
not
a
using it.
distribution network as an artist is very
Absolutely,
valuable.
yeah, absolutely. But I just like social media is just twisting my fucking mind up, man. And
Well,
I
I
just
don't
like, had to
think
stay
that
off
you
of it,
have
you know?
to be like a daily morning talk show host to be a musician.
Right.
We love talk show hosty stuff, so it's a natural fit with our band,
Right.
especially because we tend to have these gaps in output like a lot of bands do.
Yeah.
But the concept that you can be more focused on just doing the music and not have the dread of having to maintain a certain like face.
Right.
It almost feels like showing up to an office every day. If
Well, it's
social
like no
media
one
is
wants
used
to
that
see
way.
my selfie every day. You know what I
It's-
mean? Look at me.
it
I'm
doesn't
not a
fit what you're
20-year-old blonde
Yeah.
on Instagram. You know what I mean? Like I'm not some surfer with pecs and shit. You know what I mean? So no, like I feel like I have nothing interesting to say unless it's about like, oh hey, look at what I'm doing, look at the albums I'm doing, look at the shows I'm playing, right? But you know, there was a big thing that came up. It's like, well, how are you going to promote if you're not on Facebook? I'm like, I don't know how they used to do it. You play, and you're good at what you do, and hopefully people catch on. If they don't, well, I mean, like, you know, we fall victim to a very strange thing in Las Vegas because, yeah, entertainment capital of the world for sure, but it ain't for rock and roll, man. You know what I mean? It's for casinos and for residencies and for DJs and for people who just want a good time.
or
and
the music flavor.
I've realized that very young because, you know, you and I go way back from playing shows and being in the scene and having to go through the rigmarole of dealing with
Yeah, it was like
agents.
09 we played our first show at the
right,
same venue,
exactly.
yeah.
So it's like we lose sight of the fact that people just want a good time. They don't want to fantasize about you and idolize you and have your picture on their wall. They just want a good time. They want to go to a club. They want to hear good music. They want to drink a cheap cocktail, and then they want to go home safely. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And go to work the next day.
And they'd love to
So-
have you on their list of entertainers,
sure,
but they
but
don't
it's-
need you to be the front of their.
You're not competing with Kendrick Lamar.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
unfortunately, what are you going to do? You know, it's like money. It takes money to make money. And in Vegas, it's a performer's town because, and i.e. performing covers. You know, a lot of bands rely on being in cover bands to pay the bills, which is totally, you know, admirable and warranted in certain cases. But I'm not the type of cat who could do that, man. You know, I do music because it's just like something I can do. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just like
Yeah.
it just found me one day. It's not like I was like, I want a guitar and I want to fucking be on stage. It's like, no, it was like all of those things are a byproduct of just being creative. And that's my art, you know, that's my
Well, there's a climate now to where
spirituality, you know?
if you're creative in one or two ways, there people think with this rise of content creators in general that can create a few different genres that you're going to just have to cover them all.
Right.
It's fun to try for sport. Like we've made like how-tos and all kinds of different random things.
Right.
But that's a great way to figure out what you want to do. When you know what you want to do,
Oh
you
my
can
God.
do that. that monster.
Dude, my
full of-
telekinesis is running wild tonight. I'm
Nailing
sorry.
it. But when you know what you want to do, you can find that and maybe a couple peripheral things to frame it,
Right.
and just be on the list that people have of people that do that they like. And I like podcasts. I think are a great example of that. No one should have a podcast that's trying to be the altar that people worship
Right,
at. They're like, this is
absolutely,
my main dude. You
I'm going to
have
be
a
Howard
whole-
Stern one day. Like,
Yeah, you have a whole flip through. You have like a flip book of podcasts that you like.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, this dude. Oh, cool, this dude.
Right.
And it's like a family in that
something
genre.
to fill your time with. It's
So there's
something
nothing
yeah.
wrong with being one of the people that does a thing you like.
Going back to what you were saying before, opening up the question. You know what I mean? Because that's, I think, what art has to do. And you can look at art in so many subjective ways. Like, you know, me and my girlfriend were debating the other night whether dancing is an art. And she's like, of course it is. And I'm like, my lizard brain is like, no, it's not. You're just moving around to a beat. And then, no, but it really got me thinking, like, no, I mean, it is. It's a body art. It's motion. It's feeling.
Dude, I've
you
got
know?
a thing
It's
on
like,
that. So Oliver Sacks, the writer of This Is Your Brain on Music, talked about, was the first person to tell me in this book that music predated spoken language, which I had no
Right.
concept of before.
Right.
That we as a species would communicate knowledge like bees do with a
Tonally.
dance and a song. So
Yeah.
when you do music, so to speak, whether you're creating it or communicating with someone through music or just in some kind of musical trance or just doing something that's music, you have to use all of your brain,
Right.
especially if you're also moving your body to the beat. So people would do elaborate dances with music to remember things. Like, this is the dance of how we clean our pots. This is the dance of where those elk live.
Right.
This is the dance of what we do every season. This is the dance of how these tents are made.
Right.
And they didn't have separate language even differentiating dance from music. So
And
it's
they
like-
were fit too. Holy shit! They all had washboard abs. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
So they couldn't differentiate between how music was valuable and how dance was valuable. It
Right.
was literally part of the same communication.
Yeah.
So that made me appreciate dance more.
For sure.
In that way. That's
No,
like, oh, it's
absolutely.
visual music.
Hey
You're still
man, sometimes
sharing
you just got to
patterns.
think about shit. Sometimes you got to like think about it from a different perspective because I'm a media artist. You know, well, no, I mean a
No,
media.
for sure. There's so
you know,
much
it's
visual
like-
things that I've enjoyed from you.
Well, for sure, but it's like it's not only media art. It's also like, I mean, I guess media in the sense of, you know, a physical thing that you could put in your record player and listen to it, right? But
well,
you know,
media
media
would be
art
the thing
is like
that goes on the
yeah,
medium.
right? For sure.
I'm going to call it that this time.
No, for sure. But to me, it's like there's a big difference as far as, you know, the business side, as far as the creative side, being a physical artist, someone who physically paints, and which I guess you would really technically call a media artist that's using a different media, paints, oils, you know,
As
what
opposed
have
to
you.
something that's in the box entirely.
Absolutely, opposed to something that's essentially just, I mean, to the human mind when they take it home with them, it's just ones and zeros. It's sound that's been recorded.
Intangibles.
Exactly. Now, then there's also the physical performing side. There's also the just letting go and being a performer and not having to worry about this box of like, okay, here's a song and it's 3 minutes long and we're gonna play it just cookie cutter every single time. Like, there's something that loses its flair about that.
Well, you're
And, you know?
losing the advantage because I'm really obsessed with intangible art,
Right.
Because of the immortality aspect.
Absolutely.
But the biggest drawback is the fact that when there's a performance or something physically created, there's so many more random elements and opportunities to roll with expression
Right.
and roll with happy accidents.
Yeah.
And a musical performance is different every time.
Absolutely.
And you can't get that from something that's literally a copy of one specific thing of data.
Right.
But on the other hand, I'm so in love with the idea of creating something that's so good as that copy, even if it was out of a live performance.
Right. Oh,
But, like,
absolutely.
oh, you can get a best of both worlds then if you get all these
Yeah.
random things, but then you've got this image and that becomes immortal. So the immortality of intangible data and its ability, as long as there's another copy of it in some organization of molecules somewhere.
Well, that's the lost art of guitar soloing to me. You know, like you have so many bands that do that. The cookie cutter, oh, it sounds like it does on the record. And for some things it should. You know what I mean? But
Or at
that's
least
what the solo
reference.
was. I mean, any solo, not just a
Yeah.
guitar solo. I'm a guitar player, so of course I attribute it to that. But any solo was meant for the musician to feel and to go and to be one with the motion and the beat, which you could say, strip all that and you're just dancing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's a feeling and it's something that has to move through you. And too many people, they pick up an instrument and they go, I want to do this as a career because I don't want to physically break my back laboring. It's not I want to be an artist, I want to be creative. I think that's where we get the homogenation of music and the staleness of like
Safety.
It's safety, and it's like, what band's doing hot? Let's sound like them.
Yeah.
Let's
It's
do it. We
playing
could be them
safe and
too.
string it, yeah.
We could be them too in a year. It's like, why don't you just want to be you? You know, it's like
my favorite dance is when you can want to be you and do something totally original and still be able to do these artful nods and winks to things that are
Absolutely.
cultural phenomena,
for
things
sure.
going on.
And that's our influence
Yeah.
is shining through us. You know, like
I think that a lot of people that think that they don't reference anything modern don't realize how much they're leaning on the shoulders of something that's hella been done.
Right.
And some people don't realize the foundations they're leaning on to communicate with people musically and
Right.
don't they don't. That's the worst is when a person thinks that they don't even understand that they're just copying something and just playing
Right.
it totally safe.
right, exactly.
Like way safer than they realize. But
Right.
that's what's even worse is the avant-garde that's just like doesn't try to do anything musical either.
Right. That's true.
These sweet spots in art are something else.
The truth is always somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to do it, in the cookie cutter fashion, because that's pop music. You know what I mean? There was a reason why the Beatles were the fucking biggest band in the world, is because they had an image and a nice wrapped little box that you could take home and open it up and read all the little, you know what I mean? It was
And John Lennon especially was so good at writing things that set up an expectation. Like, oh, you've heard things like this. You expected to do this.
Right.
Oh, fourth measure, surprise.
Yeah,
there's this.
exactly.
Oh, surprise, extra note. Oh, surprise,
Right.
it's a half step here instead of a full step.
Yeah.
And it was a little transparent in the early Beatles, but it was such a great
Right.
formula.
Absolutely. And he said it himself. The reason why the Beatles ever did well is because American people love to be tricked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and that's the illusion of pop music. That's the illusion of, like, when you see your favorite star and they're out and about, they're going to be in their garb and their makeup and their wigs and their, Louis Vuitton or whatever. But you see them going to buy cat food and they just look like they live in some trailer park in Nebraska, and it's like the illusion of like, oh, we have so much to choose from, but it's like, not really, man. Okay, I guess, sure, taste is individual for sure, but I don't know. It seems to me like, and once again, kind of going back to like the land thing, you really see it in a town like this. You really grow up and you see past the veil of illusion of like, oh man, I'm going to be a big ass star one day. And you realize, wait a second, I'm not Elton John. Like,
I have a huge note on that point. That brings me to like something that I really see happening in the future, because I feel like it's been happening since we were in high school.
Yeah.
And that's the cult entertainer concept. It's starting to turn into the main kind of entertainer.
Right.
It used to be that media was so centralized that the village entertainer was dead, and that was the starving artist era. And now we've had this pseudo meritocracy where artists can rise from their popularity and the normal dude can become a star again through alternate channels. But then you get the moment this normal dude becomes a star, and most of the people I know are like, that dude's lame. He's a star. It's like, it's cheesy though.
Like
so
sell
like,
out.
where are the us? It turns out, okay, each person's art that's going to really connect with them can't connect with everybody. Then people are more unique than that.
So
these cults
falls into the cult category, exactly. But especially for rock and roll. I mean,
because that's a cult in and of itself with subcategories to it.
Well, and plenty of bands that are rock bands nowadays, they're touring all over the world, and you don't hear them on the radio. You don't hear them on Pepsi commercials. Exactly.
And that can be some of the best ones, because it's not weird for someone's most personal and best thing not to be for everyone. It's amazing when an artist can be considered good by everyone.
Yeah.
It's great that we all think the Beatles are great.
If people could just understand that statement, like, you're not going to be for everybody.
Yeah.
You're going to
kill some great artists.
It does.
That if they just focused on their strength and who they were instead of trying to make everyone happy.
Right, exactly.
Way better.
Right, because they try to compartmentalize and they try to say, well, let me write a song that people are going to like. Just write a song that's you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you do your due diligence or whatever, you're gonna get the return, man. People are gonna receive it, or they don't, and all right, I got to become an attorney or something stupid.
Well, if they don't, then you just be satisfied with your cult. Maybe your tastes are more niche, but you can be even tighter with your niche then.
Well, look at people like John Waters.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Such a good example.
Dude, John Waters, man. You know what I mean?
Such a cool dude, but totally polarizing.
If I could die just being half the dude he is, I'd be happy.
Just be determined to really hit like his cult ultimately to like universally respected figure now.
Right, exactly.
Like no one doesn't respect his impact on media at this point, even though it had to be so underground for like his whole career.
I mean, the dude who gave Iggy Pop his acting debut. You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird.
Just such an individual
to bring the freak into pop culture, like that
but
was
also
really
be so
important.
Dignified,
exactly.
Like somebody like such an easy person to shake his hand, like
smoking a Virginia Slim, like no, honey. Like, oh man, I love it, man. I love it. But no, it really, I think that pop culture will always go back into the underground because the underground, and it sounds so kind of cliche, the underground, right? Like it's this foreign thing that people don't know about. No, it's just the people who get overlooked because of the signs and the lights and the promotions and the how many tickets can you sell bullshit.
The underground is right below the mainstream.
The
it's right
underground, that's where the working man is.
Or
the
just
underground is where real people are.
Or just how like pop music ends up borrowing from the underground and making it
Absolutely.
popular.
'Cause it can't grow
Yeah.
otherwise.
Like
Right.
I remember like when like dubstep for an example, and you know a lot of people may not like that, but when it was just like in clubs or
Raves in
Yeah,
Peter
yeah.
Piper's Pizza at night and shit.
yeah, right.
Exactly.
And then like eventually you hear it in like pop songs, and then on the commercial, like on commercials, and then even in like country music, they had like dubstep
yeah.
breakdowns.
For sure. Well, they talk about the generational whoop. You know what that is? Where it's like the same kind of tonality, the same kind of equation of tones that people just familiarize with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, they're going to like this song because they liked the song that came out 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And it's all about who is selling you. You know what I mean? Like, I once again, doing this for such a long time, you realize over time that it's like, if I don't have some rich daddy who could fund my dreams, essentially, I'm just working. I'm just every day just having to do my own thing, make sure albums get done, make sure shows get booked. I don't have some agency. I don't have the luxury of some guy being like, all right, go on ABC in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. I'm doing this all myself. So it really gets overlooked that it's like, you have to have the money to do it. You know what I mean? And then that creates this pool of monotony of this same song, the same dance over and over again. That's just been bought every 10 years. They recycle it.
I feel like if there's we've already had a lot of hope out of that and how cheap it is to record your own shit now.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah.
Even mastering, everyone's using Isotope and
Right.
it's AI mastering. Just like,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Right.
it's great. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I usually touch it up a little bit beyond that. But even
Right.
if I just slept on it, it's like, wow, this really brings us. If you can do a decent mix, and if it doesn't bring you there, then you at least have the tools to get good over a couple years.
Or you
and be
know
eye level.
someone who can do it, because that's the ease of access. Really, I mean, like I remember it started with like the Boss disc. Like you put in the disc and you had the little faders. I forget
maybe
that was
for
called
you, the cassette.
Oh well, no,
those
for sure.
Tascam
No,
cassette
I'm not.
people.
I'm not saying for me. I'm saying for like the digital age.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for like the digital age and the ease of access of being able to just like set up, make it, and it's an MP3.
No,
you
what
know
really
what I
did it
mean?
was
Like,
Sound Blaster cards and
Yeah.
Cakewalk.
Oh,
Man.
yeah, for sure.
Because that was cheaper than my buddy with the disc burner and the unit.
that was like $800. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was like, forget that. I'm getting
Yeah.
this used Sound Blaster and
Right.
like Pentium 4.
Right. But the ease of access, it really has made it to where, like, you know, anyone can just have some laptop and do music, to where, of course, you're going to get a lot more bullshit.
And now you can
You know,
really hear
like-
the difference between the people that spend more time.
Right.
Because there's no
Absolutely.
click button that's going to
Yeah.
bus things differently and really
Right.
give pockets for things. And
Right.
you can hear that love or not. But then you have these other people that don't put that love in, but they just fucking know how to make a hook.
Oh, right.
There's some people
Yeah.
that are just idiots and their music is so good.
Right.
And it's so great to have them out there making great music.
And I
too.
would love to meet one of them one day. Like, you know, like,
Yeah, we mostly bump into people that slave over some things.
Right.
I haven't seen like one of those prodigy idiots in a minute.
no, for sure, man. And you know what, like,
You know
and
who
I
does
have,
that? And I like makes me want to roll back the idiot level, but someone that can just go on gear,
Mm-hmm.
and if they just get you know how to start it and put it in gear, they make sick beats on it. It's fucking Ange.
Oh, yeah,
Just
hell
put
yeah.
the Chaos Later in front of her, and okay, it's a looper. Oh, it's like 4 loopers. All right.
Right.
Oh, I've got a bunch of synths in here.
Right.
Boom, sick piles
Well,
of like
that goes back to it's
good
about the
composition
feeling,
of
man.
different roles and
Absolutely,
understanding,
yeah.
listening to enough music to understand that you need to fill a bass roll, you need to fill a rhythm roll,
Absolutely,
you need to have
right.
breakdowns, you need to have
a flavor for
crescendo.
everybody. Yeah. They're like, I like the bass in this song. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
so she
For
just
sure.
goes at it and like, okay, anticipates where there should be some crescendo, where there should be a drop, where there should be gaps, where there needs to be more beat, where there's
Right.
kick missing, where it needs more bass, and just slaps it together on there. And we just touch it up at the end. It's like, oh, it's so great for that to be there.
Right.
Where minds that are actually particularly apt at the creation end don't have to sit there behind some crazy producer with an afro and a gun, Peter Spector, or not Phil Spector.
Spector, yeah.
Yeah.
Which that would have been a fucking dream. Holy shit! I might have shit myself, but holy fuck.
No, you would have shit yourself in terror.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Absolutely of terror. No, I dig it, man. And it's like, you know, even bringing up artists like Ange, where it's like the content is just so immense. It's because certain artists can just go, this is done. I'm on to the next thing. You know what I mean? And I think that's important. Instead of like, us growing up in the scene here, you have those bands where like, we got our 12 songs, we're going to play those 12 songs for 6 years.
Oh,
and it's like,
that's so gross.
And it's like, no one wants to see you after the third show.
No. Another thing that people don't see is you see someone that can consistently output great music or great art or whatever they output on a seemingly regular basis.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize how much work that is for the other 90% of the output that they're making.
It's life.
Yeah, for that person
it's not
to do
just
that,
it's not just a thing you do.
you're not
anymore.
watching first takes.
Right.
You're not watching the first time they threw all these things down.
Right.
There's like 20 versions of that track that sucked for each one that you're hearing.
Absolutely. Sometimes more.
Yeah.
Like sometimes going to, because everything in the digital age now, Logic, you just go to the bin and you delete all the untakes. Sometimes it's 1,000 takes of like everything combined,
But that work shows up, and I think
Yeah.
that's the meritocracy that's still going on today. Is
Right.
you can tell people that either put in a lot of work or they have another skill that applies to this that's letting them get away with less work and have it still be good. But they still nourish that skill. They're still putting in time doing, say they're a good writer and they're not good with the gear. They've sat down and written a lot without any gear to even remember it. Like tragically and as difficult as that is, to then go there and do it. And that an even harder journey in that way sometimes.
Well, because getting into the recording side was just a whole different world for me. My life had just been a guitar player. I wrote lyrics. And once again, this is just shit that comes to me. It's not like I sit down and try to rhyme words together. You know what I mean? They're just words and tones that come to me. I hear a song, I go, I gotta get that down so I don't forget it. You know what I mean?
A certain amount of people in every village born for hundreds of thousands of years needed to fill that role to help everyone communicate with themselves emotionally.
Right.
And that role has been so centralized that it leaves a lot of us disenfranchised.
Dude, but the fucking recording side, that's a whole different universe.
Yeah.
It's like not only now do you have to get your music, planned out,
Now you have
mapped
to be a
out.
photographer
now
rather
you
than
have
a
to,
painter.
and that photograph has to be pristine enough. And okay, not really so much for like what I do. I don't care about pristine takes.
But you still have to be in focus.
You have to be in focus.
You have to be well
still have
lit.
to- exactly.
It's all these basic
for
things
sure.
that you don't think, like when you think photography, they're not
Right.
creating art, they're just capturing something that's already there. And you're like,
Right.
yeah, but it's lit well, it's in
Right,
focus.
exactly.
There's depth of field where like,
There's-
is the whole thing in focus or just the subject in focus? And then you're
Right.
like, oh, that's a real thing.
Right.
It is a real art, it turns out. What?
Right? Like, oh my God.
They're doing it.
My life is a lie. No, but so the recording side is it's crazy because to me, there's now the art of, I don't want to do 100 takes. I want to get it down how I get it down. I want it to
Totally.
sound like like it's real.
Just
It
because you
is
can't
real.
do it hard, how can you make it do it less hard?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, and the realness of music, I think, is slowly kind of fading. And it's because of that kind of corporate mindset of like, I've got to sound like a label.
The music
gonna
that's
get
being
me,
sold,
Yeah.
which isn't necessarily the mainstream, isn't the bulk of media anymore.
Right.
So like that might be the case for the stuff that's the easiest to sell, like candy, your Pepsi Colas,
Right.
and your Jack in the Boxes.
For sure.
But like people don't think about Pepsi and Jack in the Box when they think of food and drink.
I've got
They
an
think
old
about that-
Scotch whiskey that's been fermented.
They think about their favorite
100
restaurant
years.
and their favorite
Yeah.
hometown.
Yeah.
And so that now that there's a way to move around the country and have a handful of restaurants that you love from all over the world in your pocket.
Right.
And that's really taken the win. But like McDonald's is going out of business just because. And that same thing's not going to happen with mainstream music. It's not going to go out of business, but it's not going to be the most beloved.
Well, they're all
because of those
competing. It's like the
shortcuts,
$5 meal. One got a $5 meal.
Perfect
The next one's like
example.
$4 meal.
Yeah.
Next one's like, oh, $3 meal, and you get a cookie. And then McDonald's is like, fuck. All right. 2 for $6.
So you have this music and this food that's only good when you're drunk.
Right. Exactly. No, true. Man, music and food are fucking so much alike.
But you can't have like too many awesome hole in the wall restaurants, and that's why there can't be too many artists like us creating in this new environment
Right.
and being honest about it and trying to be the best that we can,
Absolutely.
competing against ourselves in our little communities.
Right.
So on that note, we've only got a couple minutes left. Can I get like a 1 minute plug of anything you want to promote right now?
Yeah, man. I mean,
Wait, sorry, there's 2 swooshes on that one.
it's
Okay,
all
go
right.
ahead.
We need to swoosh it up.
This was one. There we go. That was one.
No, yeah, I got a couple albums in the works, man. I'm doing album with Asteroid M Records, Cody Levitt from People's Whiskey.
Shout out to Cody. Hi.
And I'm doing a record with him. 12 songs that we're just trying to get done. I'm doing another record by myself at home, just another 12, 13 jams that trying to get done as well. And besides that, you know, I have, of course, a backlog of just stuff I work on here and there, just, you know, kind of the vault, I like to call it. And,
Dude, you gotta let me do a remix.
dude,
You would
absolutely.
anyway. I don't need to bug you on the air on that.
It's all right.
I mean, that's a ball I haven't picked up.
It's all right. But besides that, I got some shows. Strange Mistress is playing tomorrow night at Beauty Bar with a
Tomorrow
band.
night,
yeah.
Beauty Bar, Strange Mistress.
Yo,
Yeah,
go check 'em out.
that's going to be with the Pussy Jones Experience. I believe they're from California. I don't know. They're like a kind of James Brownian on acid.
What's the
kind of
door
funk.
open
Oh,
on
yeah.
that one?
The door, I think, is at 9, and
Pretty normal.
and the show probably starts either 9:30 or 10, whatever. But then, you know, we've got a couple more shows after that. The 29th will be over at Vamped with the Quitters and Stereo Assault, who are a phenomenal band. That's Strange Mistress as well. And then
I love Vamped and I love the
Yeah.
West Side.
You know what? The West Side is the best side, man.
Vamped is underrated. Pack
Yeah.
Vamped. Like,
Yeah.
people don't go to Vamped and be like, darn, I didn't like being at Vamped.
Well, it gets a bad rap, man. It gets a bad rap because people are like, oh, it's, you know, they only want to hear a certain genre of music. Okay, sure, but I mean, like, also they just want to hear good music.
Yeah, you can listen to good rock at Vamped. You're not.
Right.
You're not going to go there for a good hip hop show. No.
Right.
But I mean, if you go to the right show at Vamped, it's great. And if it's too loud, there's a
Yeah.
whole separate bar area where you could get beer and pizza, and it's a good volume there.
Right,
If it's not
absolutely.
too loud, then it's great right in front
Great
of the band.
sound, great stage.
Yeah, it's
you
never
know.
bad. The worst
Right.
the sound is too loud but still good, and there's a whole other room to enjoy it in.
Right.
So it's just they covered all the bases.
Right.
It's comfortable. It's clean.
Drinks aren't crazy expensive either.
It's not for a place that clean.
Right.
The drinks are amazing priced. Pizza's
Right.
good. Vamped is amazing.
Yeah. But besides that, then the December 1st will be over at Beauty Bar again with a band called Wofat and Sasquatch, and for Planet Desert Rock Weekend. And yeah, man, besides that, dude, just recording, doing my damn thing, and trying to, you know, not go crazy.
Hell yeah.
Nice, dude. All right. Bye, everybody in
We're out.
podcast land.
Yeah.
We love you. Tell your friends.
Hell yeah. Don't talk shit about anyone just yet.
Because that was just
We
the
gotta
Radio
turn off
Vegas
the live
stream.
feeds.
Yeah, the
Oh.
videos are still going.
Jeez.
There's a funny. Well, we have to
Putting
warn
me on
people.
blast. All right.
No,
Yeah, because they'll be
this
like,
is-
oh, dude, let me tell you about this fucking guy.
Listen,
Yeah.
this
Like,
is this is season 3. You know that's happened. Where we've been like, all right, bye everybody. And
Yeah,
they're
but like out of nowhere
oh,
though,
man,
like
it's just that you won't believe the bitch I have to go visit now. It's like her name specifically, I'm gonna say really loud.
her name, her address, her social security number,
Yeah,
like
she was hitting me up, listening up at this thing. Man, fuck that bitch. Like, whoa, hold on. I did not. There's 2 more streams I didn't stop.
Right.
Yeah. Dude, it's so great to have you here.
Dude, absolutely.
Now we're a real show and we've had some Kilfeather on.
Yes. It's fun. Totally, time flew by, man, you know?
It hella does. People don't realize it.